let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer Release podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
All right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer Release podcast.
It's the 6 o'clock check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM nasty big hello. It's that static AM radio. It's the cool bed red hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and login with some sirloin bites.
Rogers Place, play La Bamba, baby!
Play the mama, baby.
But we're a dangerous team when we're rolling, and we're healthy, and we are healthy.
Cup is on the line, baby, come and get it done. 16 wins, yeah, they're going on a run. Looking to advance, going deep in the dance. Hop on the bandwagon, let's hear the fans. The fans.
Special place to play, honestly. So much history, these fans. It's great to hear their sport.
Wrestling in the desert every single night. Clubs coming up, baby, gonna be a fight. 6 games, 5 games, how about a sweep? Ticket prices, yeah, they're gonna be steep, yeah! Yeah! Come on! It's the playoffs! Crank it up! It's the playoffs! Take the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Ooh, gotta get the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Come on, lift it up! Let's go win the Stanley! Waited long enough. It's time. No more wait for the oil. It's the fate, yeah. Listen, first gear, second gear, third gear, go. McDavid 97, he's a one-man show. Draisaitl, Alberta, gotta love the nude. Bruce Skinner and picks need to be huge. Be huge. Be huge. They gotta squeeze a little, squeeze a little, squeeze a little more. Get the bottom 6 to find a way to score. One time, overtime, gotta find a way. Jam-packed moss pit going insane. Yeah! Yeah! Cheer a little more. It's the playoffs. Crank it up. It's the playoffs. When you need a vet to be a threat, you can bet he'll fill the net. He's Cory Perry, he can score, he's scary. Cory Perry, he's a prick, but you know he does the trick. He's won the heart, he's won the cup, he just keeps going, won't give up. He'll knock you down, the fans will shout, you around, you will find out. It's Cory Perry, he can score, he's scary. Cory Perry, he's a prick, but you know he does the trick. When you need a vet to be a threat, you can bet he'll fill the nets. Is it Cory Perry? He can score, he's scary. Cory Perry, he's a prick, but you know he does the trick.
6:09, you're tuned into a Thursday installment of the Nielson Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk, streaming as usual on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps. And for your viewing pleasure as well on YouTube, all Nielson Show songs brought to you by Totem Outdoor Outfitters. They got a good deal going on right now for Oilers tickets. Win an Oilers jersey, buy a punch card, get an entry, finish a punch card, get an entry. Go Oilers, go. You can try to get your hands on a jersey there. Family store that takes pride in finding the right fit for you. Visit them 7430 99th Street or online, totemoutfitters.ca. Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev behind the monitors, and Wil Fraser with us, everybody.
Salutations.
Will, he's back, and we appreciate it.
Somebody should.
You always... Maddie doesn't when he sends up he emails you, right?
Like he begrudgingly sends it to me.
Does he text or is it a call?
It's a
cold
text.
call?
It's a text. Yeah.
A cold call would be.
Yes.
Yeah, Will, what are you doing on? And you can't deny it or kind of turn it down. Will will be with us today and tomorrow's show, setting up tonight's game for breaking it down tomorrow, as well as Dustin Nielsen off doing his Canadian Football League duties. He'll have the call tonight to kick off Week 2 in Winnipeg. Blue Bombers and Lions on TSN. Of course, the Elks observing a bye week for Week 2, so we will await them as they're back in action next Thursday. Home opener against the Montreal Alouettes. 780-218-9999. You know it. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox.
It's the ring box. It's the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox. And they got lots of fancy, shiny things. Look at this, look at that. Not just for the ladies. They got jewelry for men, too. The ring box, the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox.
Shop a huge selection of engagement rings and wedding bands that are on sale right now. Flexible payment options such as do not pay for 1 year. Stores in the Edmonton area, West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, St. Albert Centre, or online, parisjewelers.com, Canadian and family owned. 780-218-9999. As a few texts already roll in, when's Dustin back? And a few people on the nasty chat as well. Vier Montenegro, to name one, when's Dustin back? Monday, he will be back with us. A lot of things can happen between now and then, Will.
See you Monday!
That's what he says when he leaves. It's, So, hi, I mean, how are you doing? If you want to greet Will, I mean, do it via the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, or in the YouTube nasty chat.
Well, I'm super. And you guys, Trevor, look like you're barely holding it together.
What do you mean? I'm very well put together right now.
Sure.
Late night.
That's true.
I hear.
Yeah.
No, I'm great. Well, it's good seeing you, buddy. I miss you.
I've thought of you as well.
Actually?
Yeah. No.
Whoa, okay.
Honestly, no. Especially when the Oilers lose, I worry about you.
That's actually so nice.
Yeah. No one takes it harder than you. So
I do take it hard. Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
No, that's good. But whenever I see people running, I think of you.
Like when they had 2 series that finished in 5, I was just happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed it. It was crazy. The vibes. I've never been that calm before, like for a playoff series.
That's right.
And I think Hernan was saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Going in, he was like, this is fine.
And now it's all gone to hell.
Yeah, I'm a little worried.
You've never doubted them yet. Why start now?
Yep, never doubted them. And I won't doubt
Steadfast.
them. Yep.
Oh, good.
We these last 2 series, I don't know if you, I know you try to pay attention to the show regularly when you're not here, but we had a gentleman's sweep show after winning the game.
I saw you guys with pipes.
Yes, pipes, pocket watches, hats.
Yeah,
we drank 3 bottles of wine during the show, which was quite fun.
That's a lot of wine.
Well, Dustin's not, but he likes wine now. And then we bring in cologne and just spray cologne all over each other. Like, it smelled great in here.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
it smelled
get a little in your wine.
Cheap wine and cologne.
Hey, yeah. So we were hoping that it would be a gentleman's sweep, but let's just say if the Panthers get out to a 3-1 lead and then the Oilers roar back, that would almost be a gentleman's win. So we could do another gentleman's show.
I see. Yeah, there you go.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Reid Wilkins doesn't like the sweep. He doesn't like it. He doesn't agree with the definition of a gentleman's sweep, to which I don't even know what that is yet. He's never.
So what
would you say it is? You let the opposing team win 1, then you win the next 4, right?
That's
a true
sweep.
A true sweep.
Yeah.
Text of the day today in that Paris Jewelers inbox. It'll get you to A&W, $20 to A&W. It is game day as well. Oilers Panthers game 4 down in Sunrise, which we will focus on heavily on today's show. But it also means at A&W, Mama Burger and medium fries, $5. Get it? You can get it, Mama Burger, delicious with cheese. If you want it, you can add cheese on it. It doesn't come with it. We had Fergie's prostate come in during one of those gentlemen's sweep shows. He goes, guys, I brought you some breakfast sandwiches. No cheese.
How does it get held together? You need the cheese as almost like a glue to hold the whole thing together.
Found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
And I will never let up on that because that was the biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, it was free of charge, but I would have. If I wasn't down a bottle and a half. I
Without the cheese, you might as well pay me to eat it.
Take the sandwich back. Well, well. So A&W, stop by any time. Drive-thrus, 24/7, breakfast or lunch or supper, dinner, I guess, if you will. Canada's original burger chain since 1956.
I think dinner is just a general term for any meal.
Post-noon.
Yeah.
Not a.
Yeah.
You can't do it with breakfast.
Right.
Brunch wouldn't be a dinner.
Right. Yeah. But after brunch, you could just say it was dinner.
Yeah. Tea, if you will.
No.
That's what they do.
Yeah. It's not a tea.
Oh, yeah. Run upstairs, children. I'll start your tea.
Has that ever been uttered?
You don't watch enough Coronation Street,
I guess.
man. I tell you. And it is heating up on the street. Mick Michaelis cracked a cop with a bat.
You know what? That's
killed him. Craig's done. When they off somebody on the show, I almost cried.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
He'll be back in a Doctor Who.
Somebody was asking about Scuba Steve yesterday. If you do mention, that's funny you bring that up. Scuba Steve failed miserably at Kinda Easy Trivia. Will, just a reminder.
I got to do that now?
You have a blank white sheet staring in front of your face. And you got some big shoes to fill with J-Mo in. He was annihilating it. I'm like,
was J-Mo a little cruel? Was it actually kind of?
I think one of them was, does Chris Knoblock spell his name with a C or a K? Was that one of the? Yeah. And I think the person, did they get it right? Because it was Chris with a K or something that was playing. I can't remember. But we got a thing in honor of Scuba Steve's extraordinary failure yesterday. How about this? Jack Cookson, Pro-Am Sports. And we will have more on the our hockey insider analyst later on here. But Jack Cookson of Pro-Am reaches out yesterday. He goes, guys, would it be wrong / mean to run Blue Jays online or in-store EST exclusive 30% off sale on Jays hats tomorrow, which is today? Discount code Scuba Steve. In ours, it was all baseball questions yesterday. That's why, and he failed. He couldn't name Alejandro Kirk or where he plays or what he does. So Cooks and boys at Pro-Am today. The Jays are on fire right now. This is the time to buy, and he's offering you a buy low scheme. 30% sale Jays hats today, in-store or online. And discount code Scuba Steve, all one word, Scuba Steve. That's an EST exclusive 30% sale Jays hats going on today at Pro-Am Sports. So having a little, I know Scuba Steve, he would like it. He would say, "Oh, you boys, you and your fun."
I am living the life of a Cubs fan today. In that, one of the things I was looking forward to was pumping my Cubs tires.
We will have those shows
because they've been fantastic to start the year. And then they lose to the Phillies 7-2 last night. Just as I'm about to arrive, which is pretty much par for the course for any Cubs fan.
Mariners were cruising. Cal Raleigh was hitting everything out of the park. Now they're 4 games back of the Astros. So it's kind of
that's baseball for you.
Well, it's the ups and downs of a long baseball season.
That's right.
And but we'll have those shows.
Yes, we will.
We will. We're getting there. We're getting close.
Yeah.
But yes, no baseball. That's your baseball talk. 30% Jays hats today, Pro-Am Sports. Code word Scuba Steve, all one word. So take advantage of it. Jays are red hot right now. 4 games back of the Yankees. They've won 3 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10.
They're
and they
playing
get
better ball. Who would
Yeah.
have thought if an offense actually showed up, they could win some ball games?
Well, the Cardinals aren't a bad team either. The Jays will be in Philly. Those Phillies tomorrow, 4:45. So they got the day off. Weekend set. Lots going on though. Let's get to the morning announcements quickly here for 100.3 The Bear. Edmonton's best rock. Yukon and McCord in the morning, to which they send their hellos to you, Will. You know them from the old shop, hey?
I've heard of them, yes.
Bree and Jess Jackson as well on your way home. But yes, just going over everything. Of course, the Oilers, boy, they're playing some mind games, hey? Will they skate? Will they not? And then they're at the St. Jean Baptiste Community Rink, and they're going all out. And we're going to hear from Chris Knoblock yesterday, a bit of a two-parter here later in the hour. For Fired Up and the Fan Zone. But yes, Oilers-Panthers tonight. You can join our very own Tommy Gazzola. I know Will's already booked a table. Hudson's Bourbon Street tonight for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows. Coverage will start at 5 o'clock here on EST. Of course, Play Alberta, proud sponsor of Edmonton Sports Talk. Dusty's got his early bird bet up already, and we still got those June codes for you, but we'll get to that more later on in the show. But yes, tonight, Hudson's Bourbon Street is the place to be for some fun. If you usually go out to the moss pit, it looks like a little rain. If you're usually out so maybe join us inside at Hudson's.
I think it'll probably hold off. We're not supposed to really get the big
to
stuff.
Pump people into Hudson's.
But, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, just.
Spittle.
It's going to be a little chilly is what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's fine. But if you want a cozy atmosphere, a comfortable taking off your jacket. Oh, it's cozy in Hudson's Bourbon, baby.
Trust me, when I'm around Tommy Gazzola.
Those booths, yeah.
Things get hot.
He sits at the front, and he looks like a waiter. So people usually, the spit, hey? And people come in, they're like, a table for 4.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that. That'll never get old. 5 o'clock here on EST tonight. Longest
kind of
pregame.
like Tommy. It'll never get old.
What can we, what's he been up to lately? Yeah, well, you've seen him on the CFL and TSN. He does the Calgary gigs now, too. He's all around.
Yeah. Listen, if I owned a camera, I'd have him in front of it as often as possible. It's a beautiful man.
Very beautiful. You'll see him later on, hopefully. Yeah. I think. No, well, he might be in game day. So yes, join Tommy Hudson's Bourbon Street tonight. Longest pregame in the city. We were on at 6 this morning. We go all the way up to 5 with the Reid Wilkins show, and Tommy takes it from there. GCL Diesel pre and post. NBA finals.
Yeah,
we call it the NBA finals.
Yes,
but it's the Stanley Cup final.
Who's we?
Well, myself, Quinn Phillips hates that we say Stanley Cup Finals, so I say Stanley Cup Final.
Then why is it
I
would change
final?
it if Quinn is saying.
No,
change
I don't. I think of her every time I say it now. But NBA Finals, eh?
Okay.
Canadian, another Canadian.
Yeah.
Benedict Mathurin leading the way, 27 points. Pacers over the Thunder, 116-107.
That Pacers team is
deep. Yeah, but the Thunder are really good too.
Just deep. Yeah. I mean. The Thunder have the best player in basketball, but
yes,
yeah, this has been you like basketball. This has been a great finals.
We said when it started, maybe not the sexiest markets, but if you're a basketball purist, you're loving what you're seeing right now. Game 4 tomorrow back in Indy. Blue Jays, as we mentioned, they sweep aside the Cardinals. They're in Philly tomorrow, looking to continue their red hot streak. Locally, Riverhawks dropping a tight one. Trevor will have more of this in depth in the sports update, and the Cactus Rats with another win too. PGA U.S. Open, babe. I was telling you too before we hit air. When it starts raining this weekend, gets a little cooler. Crack the window open, lay on the couch. U.S. Open golf down in Texas. I cannot wait. Couple lip pillows. Hey, Trev.
Oh yeah. Well, that sounds like a grand old time there, LT.
Yeah.
I would like that. Sunday.
And of course, week 2 in the CFL tonight with a hell of a game. Winnipeg bye week in week 1, so they'll play their home opener against the 1-0 BC Lions. I do have Nathan Rourke on my fantasy. Did you hear the Memphis Mad Dogs have relocated this season to Birmingham? We are now the Barracudas.
You're now the Barracudas.
1-0 out of the gate. Nathan Rourke, Bo Levi Mitchell. Long may it continue, but Dustin Nielsen will have the call tonight across the TSN Network, 6:30. Of course, the Elks on a bye. You got the Alouettes in Ottawa tomorrow for Friday Night Football, and a Saturday doubleheader, Stamps, Argos, Riders, and Ticats. So, yes, that's your kind of morning announcements, 100.3 The Bear. Setting up the show today, fired up. We'll have that coming up in a minute here. So we'll have Chris Knoblock availability. We'll hold the first half. This is kind of a lengthy one. We'll split it in two. First half from yesterday, second half later on in the hour. But fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, of course, fired up for the game tonight.
Who isn't? That's honestly a quick question.
Are we gonna have a Puritan test in the room?
Even the people who don't care about this, pretty fired up about it.
I've always said, sometimes I will PV there, like 20-minute PVR, and then just step outside to walk around the block, and it's like if there was a zombie apocalypse and the nature takes over again, right? That type of thing. Fan zone at 6:40 for fans first.
I have a neighbor who has an old CN train horn.
You should bring it in.
And he fires that, and I swear to God, and I live in the country, it sounds like a train is about to run through my living room.
Is it mobile? Like, can we?
Is
it mounted?
Like, it is a huge airforce. Like,
it's
and he's got the old like D cell, like
so he has
deep
to
charge
connect
batteries, and he has to like jump start it to get it to fire. Yeah, it's awesome.
If he could lend it to us, we could play.
Yeah, like it's almost better to not watch the game and just wait for the horn as a way to let you know what's going on.
Well, if he's on a delay, that's Matty Iwanik's problem down Ice District. He knows he can't watch a game at home because he hears people cheering before it actually happens. Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse to live.
Which I kind of like. Wow. Like going to going for a walk, like to be out and about in the city in the middle of a game because there's nothing else going on.
It's hilarious.
And then to just hear the roars from the windows. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
The Orange and Blue Breakfast will come your way at 7 o'clock. We'll kick off hour number 2 with that. Due to the fact Bruce had to move to the third hour of the show today. Bruce Boudreau, our hockey insider analyst for Pro-Am Sports. As mentioned, Dusty's Early Bird Play Alberta Early Bird special today. I do believe it is already up at playalberta.ca. You just hit the sports tab at the top. EST specials on the left-hand side. And there it is. But I ain't going to tell you yet. You can log on and look yourself. But Play Alberta right now, and just to go over those codes once again, this month employee pricing, EST Casino, $20 deposit, $50 casino code, and EST Sports, $20 deposit for a $50 free bet. Then the YAG 50 code, which has been running the whole time, that's a minimum $5 deposit for a $50 free bet. So tonight, the early bird, I'm looking at it right now. It's pretty juicy. You might want to use one of those codes in your free bets, maybe on that, and sprinkle a bit on the Oilers tonight. I got beef for Cory the Butcher and Acme Meets. That's coming up at 7:30. I'm sure you've got a beef with, you've always, one of your editorials from the, the Parkland County the Prospector or whatever.
The Stony Plain Reporter.
That's the one.
Yeah.
If you could
or the Spruce Grove Examiner.
The Examiner.
Both fine,
I like that.
fine publications, yeah.
So that'll be for Cory. Cory the Butcher is actually out in the wild yesterday sporting one of his EST NWO shirts, courtesy of the 780. And he got approached in the wild by another listener, a nasty. We call them a nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Came up and said, hello, you listen to the boys? And he said, yep. And so they talked.
I thought you weren't supposed to actually, like, audibilize your you're supposed to just flash some sort of a sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's maybe what the nasties need to come up with is some sort of
a nipple tweak.
Some sort of sign that just says that you're exactly. Yeah. Let's throw that out there right now.
Is it the Freemason handshake, right?
Yeah,
when you put your hand in
text us today your idea for the nasty sign. So that when in the wild, you can non-audibly, like, just tip it.
Then at the Nasty Bash this summer, we don't have to say a word to each other. We can just walk around and touch each other.
Just signs. Yeah.
I got one idea, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Reid Wilkins from the Reid Wilkins Show, 3 to 6, 3 to 5 today here on EST. Reid alongside Jay Milne. We'll ask him about his rant from the other day. We played it on the show, Trev.
We did. I was disc golfing when I heard it live.
What was the rant about?
It was about a lot.
Coming off Game 3, how people he discussed.
Like, was he ranting on the team or ranting on the fans?
No, the Panthers,
or on the Panthers,
and how people are aghast that the Oilers could go after them in such a manner and fashion that they did to conclude Game 3.
Oh, no, really?
I want to hear his explanation on the whole thing, kind of where he got a lot of that from, because some of his verbiage, he said Sam Bennett was Tiny Tim in the Christmas play, like, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And how could you get blood on the ice? Because the heat there, they have to flood. Like, he went to a lot of different places. So We'll get a full breakdown on the rant.
Okay.
And, of course, his thoughts on Game 4. Reid Wilkins, 740. Kind of easy trivia.
Yeah.
3 questions, 2 minutes coming up at 8:05, 8:10. And then Bruce Boudreau for Pro-Am Sports. He'll be by at around 8:30 today.
Double B.
Set up the game. You love him. You know him.
Pretty much the most lovable face in sport.
Yeah, big wrestling guy, just like you. You guys have a lot in common.
Oh, yeah.
And the wrap for William Huff to take you over to the Hangout today, which is 9 to 11 with Maddie Iwanek. As mentioned, longest pregame in the city. We got you covered 6 up until puck drop at 6 tonight here on EST, presented by Play Alberta. Obviously, the Nielsen Show, too, as mentioned, presented by Southford Chevrolet. Employee pricing, Silverado 1500s and Silverado HDs for the month of June. The Stanley Cup Final features the best teams, and we are featuring the best deals this month. www.southfordchev.com. 6:27. Let's get to fired up quickly here for Gemco Fireplaces. Trev, we'll play a couple minutes of that Chris Knoblock avail and then come back and hit you with the rest. But Gemco Fireplaces right now, proudly the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces, gas or wood burning. Look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available. Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Here's head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Chris Knoblock, from yesterday.
For a game like this, like, it's obviously a giant game. We get that. But, you know, people think that every coach goes in with a big, like, Hoosiers Mighty Ducks speech where the coach has all these things he wants to say and get, you know, what kind of tone do you try to set for your team to, you know, as a coach, to put them in the right mind frame for a game of this importance?
You know, I think it starts almost immediately after the game. And the players are always looking for answers about why things happened the way they did, what adjustments we can make. So I think, you know, whether that's talking to a few individuals, then getting to the whole team, and then leading up to the game, of having a message, and whether that's a big speech or a big tactical strategy. But I think players today are always looking for answers and finding out what the best message is to give to them. So, you know, we're in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's a little bit different than if it was a dog day game in December or January, where it's mid-season and it's tough to get going for when you're on the road. We're in the Stanley Cup Finals, so motivation isn't quite the same level. Obviously, I think the most important thing is having focus and direction for the players to go out and play their best.
Next, we'll go to Mark Masters. Go ahead, Mark.
Chris, Sam Bennett's obviously on a great run in this year's playoffs. I'm just wondering what you feel like your group can do better moving forward to slow him down or contain him.
That's a collective thing for our team. You know, I think the more time we spend in the offensive zone, the better. You know, easier we can break the puck out. We're not in the offensive zone, giving up chances off their forecheck. Yeah, I don't think there's an individual thing where it's one line playing against that line or Sam. You know, obviously he's a very good player. He's going to get some chances, but you know, they've got a good team, so our focus can't be on solely one player or one line.
Go ahead, Derek.
Oh, hey, Chris. Just a couple of housekeeping things here. First off, can you, what is the status of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins tomorrow?
Ryan is going to be a game time decision.
Also, are you contemplating a goalie change or any lineup changes for tomorrow?
Yeah, we will have likely a lineup change. You know, we haven't confirmed that. We haven't discussed that with our players yet, but there are some things that we've been thinking about, and there might be a lineup change.
Next.
All right, there you go. A brief starter there from Chris Knoblock yesterday. If it wasn't for that pause, we could have fit in a couple more questions. But
lineup change.
That's so good.
What's the lineup change?
Right? Derek, sounds like there's only one.
There can only be just one.
Yeah.
So where would you go? I know where you would go.
Where would I go?
We talked
I
earlier.
think it would have to involve a Skinner.
Oh my goodness. I like what you're doing there.
Yeah.
But which one?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's get to a sports update here from YouTube, Trev. We'll be back. We'll run the rest of the Knoblock avail, get his thoughts, because it is game day. Oilers and
pauses
Panthers,
and all.
game 4. Look, we'll elongate the pauses if we have to. We
can.
only have time on this show.
We can do it.
Yeah.
We can do that.
It's the Nielson Show. Wil Fraser and for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev with the sports update here on EST, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers look to even up the series in Florida for Game 4. You can join Tom Gazzola live at Hudson's on Bourbon Street for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show starting at 5 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. On the hard courts, the Indiana Pacers take Game 3 in the NBA Finals. 116-107 is the score. Canadian Benedict Mathurin led the way in Game 3 for the Pacers with a playoff career-high 27 points. Game 4 for this one goes Friday at 6:30. In the CFL, the Bombers get their season underway tonight when they host the 1-0 Lions with Dustin Nielsen on the call. The Edmonton Elks off for the week with a bye. In the majors, the Blue Jays sweep the 3-game series against the Cardinals, coming off a 5-2 win. The Jays will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Phillies. First pitch going at 4:45. Closer to home, the Edmonton Riverhawks lost last night in Kelowna to the Falcons. 3-2 is the score. That 3-game series comes to an end later tonight. First pitch at 6:35. And the Energy City Cactus Rats improved to 5-6 on the season with an 11-6 win over the Fort McMurray Giants. The Rats take the mound later today for a game against the Sylvan Lake Gulls. That one getting underway at 7:05. And round 1 of the U.S. Open is underway, where JJ Spawn is leading the way. He is -2 through 4. And Canadian Taylor Pendrith tied for 40th, +2 through 4. I'm YouTube Trev. You're up to date.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad cats like Brzezinski and Noodles. Gadget can gauge it. If it's a fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late. Would you like a cup of tea? Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away. Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Back from our wrapup, Dragger engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the north. All about him giving present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
6:36, Nielson Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric and YouTube Trev. You heard there on the sports update. Text us, 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. Lots of great texts flying in. Troll says, I thought my internet cut out there for a minute. Yeah, we kept you guessing there with the DVD. Hey, he loves a pregnant pause.
It's dramatic.
Oh, very.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Everyone knows you asked the question.
What?
When you let it build.
You're right. Yeah. Everybody knows it's you. Mike says, Stetcher in tonight, Klingberg out. And, we did leave last segment kind of discussing the one change, only one, That would be it, right? Yeah.
It's probably going to be it.
Trev, that's it.
Stetcher in, yeah. I don't think
he's a gamer, man.
Oh, you didn't say Klingberg out though.
Yeah, that's true.
Klingberg out.
Oh yeah. Klingberg out. If Skinner does have, if he has a pretty bad outing though, I think that's when you go to Pickard. But just one game.
Yeah,
I feel like just going off history, they usually tend to go back to Skinner. So I think Skinner's in. I think Stetcher's in as well, and Jeff Skinner maybe in the next game, depending on the score.
Yeah, the leash, maybe a bit short on Stewart. We went over his game 4 numbers. I talked about those, and you had
just his bounce back numbers too, right?
Yeah, and that's why
tends to bounce back.
If you did put in a Calvin Pickard, and not that we're advocating anything, but certainly they have 2 goaltenders that they can play right now. As you said, there's really no
downside.
Choice. No,
there's no downside to either choice that they're going to make.
The way Knoblock's handled them.
Yeah.
They're both ready to go at this point. They're both good to go mentally. Physically, maybe sometimes is another question. But I don't think you can really... Whatever camp you decide to come out on there, I know that it's a pretty partisan one way or another.
I actually don't think that the decision has anything to do with the goaltender. Right? Even though it's the goaltender that you're... to me, the decision as the head coach is you're trying to figure out... what gets the better reaction from the team in front?
Yes.
Because we've seen, it's not like when Pickard has come in, he has been lights out, best goaltender on the team.
No.
The team has played better.
Yes. There's some sort of confidence uptick, but that's nothing saying against Stuart Skinner either.
Right? Or buy into whatever program that they're running. So if you are a head coach who needs to figure out, the question he's trying to answer does this team need a reset? Because I don't think it's about his goaltending needing a reset. It's about the way that they play in front of their goaltender. Do we need to reset that? And which goaltender gets them to do that?
I hear you. You could also go off the amount of goals. But again, we've come in here saying it's not like Skinner is letting these, it's not, they're good, So you can look at the score and you can say, oh yeah, only 11 goal, but yeah.
They are in his head a little bit.
Yes, and you mentioned bounce back Skinner, that sometimes if you do give him a break, then you get him back for a game 5.
Right.
That's kind of sometimes he needs that mid-series reset too. So I don't think there's no wrong choice there. Whatever, it'll probably be Stuart Skinner, right? Or we're not who you would favor. And I know we just said you could do any. It doesn't really matter where you go, but it'll probably be Stuart.
Yeah, if you're doing a prop bet, the advantage is going to go to Stuart Skinner.
Yeah. It is the Fan Zone for Fans First. If you're looking for some Game 5 tickets when the series returns to Edmonton, let Fans First help you out. www.fansfirst.ca. Buy fans for fans, no fees. Get your tickets for the Oilers Cup run at fansfirst.ca. Lots of great testimonials from people who've used that service and have loved it and will probably use it again. 780-218-9999. Your thoughts, goaltending, Stetcher, Klingberg, or maybe something else where you would like to take this in terms of the one and only change. But let's get to more of that Chris Knoblock avail from yesterday. Here's Oilers head coach Chris Knoblock speaking yesterday ahead of tonight's Game 4.
Coaching staff appreciate a lot from Troy is just how dependable he is. No matter if he's playing big minutes, regularly, hasn't played for a long period of time. Anytime that we've needed him, he's given us really good minutes and usually not making mistakes. And as a defenseman, that's really important. As for John's been great through the playoffs. He's got us through a lot of rounds. We wouldn't have got through those rounds without the contributions that he made. At this time of the year, you want depth. You know that there's going to be injuries and, things that you got to change up to your lineup. We're blessed with having an abundance of good players. Right now, we're needing it up front more with the injuries to, Zach Hyman. Fortunately, right now we've been very fortunate on not having many injuries on the defense, but it's nice to know that we've got Troy being available, and whether he gets in next game or sometime in the series, we know what we're going to get from him.
Next up, we'll go to Ryan Rashog. Go ahead, Ryan.
Chris?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Chris. Just wanted to ask, I know you guys look a lot at your own data. When it comes to McDavid and Draisaitl out there against, the Barkovs and Reinhardts and Forslings and some of their more prominent shutdown guys, what is your data sort of showing you about how they're doing breaking through? And is there in terms of line matching, is there a thought to being more aggressive on that front, or is your data sort of telling you that it's, you're happy with the way that's gone?
I know in the first two games, they were very successful, creating chances. I'm not sure exactly how many minutes. I know the third period of game 2, they had a lot of good looks. Obviously, they broke through and scored, but that was a 6-on-5 goal. I think with what we have right now, to run those two together for long periods of time makes it more difficult for our depth on our team. I think at points it's very beneficial to have them playing together, but especially with the absence of Zach Hyman, it makes it a little more difficult putting those two together just because of the depth of our lineup.
Next up, we'll go to Greg Wyshynski. Go ahead, Greg.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Two goalie questions. The first one, are you prepared to name a starter yet for Game 4?
No, I'm not.
And as part of your thinking, I was curious, obviously Calvin was playing really well when he got hurt. And then obviously him getting hurt is the reason Stewie's in there now. And I was wondering how Pickard played before the injury factors into any decision that you might make for Game 4.
Yeah, Calvin was playing really well. But I think we've always felt confident in Calvin. Calvin's always been a guy that's been able to come in and given us good quality starts, whether he's going back to back and I shouldn't say he's gone back to back very much. Last year, I don't think there was any games back to back until the playoffs that he played. This year, he was getting into back-to-backs later in the year when Stu was hurt. And then obviously the 5 or 6 games that he played in the playoffs, he did tremendously well. So it's nice having that confidence in him. But I think we've always had that confidence in him because, some guys need a rhythm flow when you're not sure what you're going to get from him. It's very similar to what we talked about with Stetcher earlier. But it's just nice having that ability, confidence that a guy's ready if we needed him.
Take a couple more. Next to Dave Levesque. Go ahead, Dave.
Hi, Chris. Game 4 is very pivotal, very important, especially when the series is 2-1. Do you approach it differently than another game, or you have to remain even keel and take it as any other game?
Well, as boring as it sounds and cliche, it's one game at a time. And, I think we do make some adjustments. Our mentality changes just a little bit with how the game went prior, whether it's a win or a loss, what we're expecting from the other team. Are we expecting changes from the other team? That'll make some changes to our preparation, but it's not really ground shattering. It's not huge adjustments. So, we think we'll probably have a lineup change, but, I think our guys have responded really well, and that response from our players. We haven't changed things dramatically in the past. So, I think we'll be staying standard as much as possible.
And we'll give the last one to Andrew Ardini. Go ahead, Andrew.
Hi, Chris. Curious, what is your guys' plan for today? Having 2 days without travel is pretty uncommon in a playoff series, and what you see the guys doing to prepare, or what you expect them to do to prepare.
Today is a optional skate. So guys will get a light workout here at the hotel, or they have the option to go skate. Don't want our high minute guys being on the ice. The other night we had a full team practice yesterday, and then be on the ice again. We will have a full team morning skate tomorrow before the game. So I think it's good for the majority of the guys to get away from the rink for a little bit. We had a meeting yesterday. So today's pretty much a day off away from hockey for the majority of the guys. So that's our plan today.
A day off, indeed.
A day off.
Yeah,
no days off.
What a joker, hey?
Mm-hmm.
I love. Well, this is the Cup. Mind games abound, eh, Will? One potential lineup change. We haven't got a confirmed starting goalie. Another point is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. If it's only going to be one change, and we're assuming that it's Stecher in for Klingberg, he had 2 days off from the last game, so maybe this gives him time to heal up or get better, if you will. But he was game time decision last game. Not too visible for that game 3.
Right.
I do wonder if you are tempted at all by sprinkling a little Jeff Skinner magic in there, whether or not it's taking his spot directly or moving the lineup up and down a bit. He had the goal in the Dallas series. I mean, it's one of those things where you could kind of argue that a legend in the making, 2 games, he's got a goal and an assist.
Right.
Not to guarantee that he'd come in and do something magical, but it is one of those stories perhaps written. And if Nuge, I've always said, if you're not going to be 100%, I know everybody's banged up at this time of year, but if you clearly aren't good enough to play, or just good enough to play, how impactful are you? So I do wonder about that one too. If we're only seeing one change and we can assume it's Stecher for Klingberg, that would lead me to believe that Nugent-Hopkins again is good to go, albeit a game time decision again.
Yeah, that's where a good training staff is imperative at this time of year.
And the 2-game
because you can't expect a player to give you an honest answer when you're basically saying, "Hey, do you want to play in the Stanley Cup Finals?"
Oh yeah. Everybody wants to play.
Do you want to play? Because there's only one answer. Like, you could be missing a limb.
Yes.
And the answer is yes, I want to play. So it's the training staff who it's imperative for them to tell you, like, how much Ryan Nugent-Hopkins can I expect? And then you make it based off of that. Is a 70% Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, is that good enough for your lineup, or is a Jeff Skinner going to be more valuable at 100%? Listen, why head coaches are head coaches and they get paid millions of dollars. These are kind of those key moments, and Knoblock's batting average.
Oh yeah,
is pretty high when it comes to making these types of calls.
Questioning it.
There's not a coach in the NHL who has had the success track record of the last 2 years than Knoblock. So I guess we'll see. Although at some point you do make a bad call.
Not everybody bats 1,000.
Right.
I just, again, with that whole, like, every player is going to want to play, yes, but you're right. That's where training and the coaching comes in and says, no, well, this is, I run the team. I ultimately
fill out the lineup.
Everybody wants to play. Sure, Jeff Skinner wants to play, damn it. But Troll says Nuge hasn't done anything this series. Now he's hurt. I'd put Skinner in as well. But again, going back to that one change, and again, we're all led to believe, and I would, if you had to make one, I guess, Will, you're in the coaching seat. Is it Skinner in for Nuge? Is it Stecher for Klingberg? I think we kind of went over this earlier.
But yeah, my gut instincts are you always make your decisions early, right? Like you don't do the in case of emergency break glass. Like I would break that glass in advance.
This isn't a game time decision, as that's how he's listed.
As far as like if he's sitting there going, Like if we're down 3-1, then all the cards are out on the table. I actually think, no, this is when you make the gut call, and then it's the elimination where you go, no, we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down with the guys that we want to go down with.
Mojis 2.0 says need to see Stetcher and Skinner back. The Baloney Boy says Stetcher will make Darnell better. I mean, that's obviously one of the things that when you add him into that blue line mix, the numbers do strongly suggest over quite a large sample size that is the case. Yeah. And that's kind of the bonus there as well. Not just Stetcher into the game, but also the propping up of Darnell.
I am a really old man when it comes to watching these Oilers. I didn't think I was until I realized how old this reference is. But in the early 90s, the Oilers traded away Steve Smith and brought in Dave Manson from the Chicago Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. And Dave Manson was a snap show, just an absolute maniac on the ice. He would just lose it, and in a lot of situations, hurt the team. And the Oilers, early in their Dave Manson years, brought up a tried, tested, undersized, not a pure offensive defenseman, but kind of just a Troy Stetcher.
Yep.
And his name was Norm McIver. And Norm McIver and Dave Manson, for whatever reason, whatever Norm McIver brought, and he came from out of nowhere, whatever he brought, it was the secret sauce.
Just what you needed,
to Dave Manson. And Dave Manson became a number one NHL defenseman because of the Norm McIver that they had next to him. I still remember there was a game against the Vancouver Canucks, and I want to say, it was Gino Ojek who actually punched him in the throat that left him so that he can barely talk now. Mm-hmm. But there was a situation in front of the Oilers' net where he had grabbed a Canucks player by the throat. And everyone cleared out, and it was Norm McIver who calmly skated up, put a hand on Dave Manson's arm, and got him to let go of him and then skate away. And so
just the shoulders go down, the hand goes on.
So I do think that there is something, sometimes there is something to the unsung defensive partner that can kind of unleash the potential of that high-end athlete. I think it's kind of unique to these types of situations. And maybe that's who Troy Stetcher is. Like, we've been talking for 5 years that they need to find the right partner.
Have they tried, hey?
And we've all thought that it needed to be another alpha type of defenseman.
High-end, yeah.
And maybe that's not the case. Maybe it is lowly, like hardworking, completely dependable Troy Stetcher. I'm fascinated to see the effect if he comes in that he brings to a Darnell
and that's okay that it's not flashy enough. And I think, too, it's not getting maybe the best out of Darnell Nurse sometimes, but allowing Darnell Nurse to not try to do his best.
That's right.
And to bring
play
it down.
within himself.
Yes. I think that's the thing with Nurse that a lot of people get. And look, you can't fault the guy for wanting to.
He's such an athlete.
You can't question his...
He's such an athlete, you can't blame him for thinking, I can get there.
Exactly.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can make that hit. I can make that play. Like, when you are that capable of an athlete, you play at a level of confidence, right? And if it's a Troy Stetcher who like teaches you to dial it, like to retreat when retreat is needed, that's unlocking a different area to Darnell Nurse.
And a strange thing to do in sports, as you mentioned, when you're a competitive athlete, to dial it back. Yeah. Everybody's always trying to give more, and in this case, it's best that way.
Live to fight another day.
Sure.
That sort of thinking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
780-218-9999. Your thoughts on all of this? Hampton Steve says, I'd put Stetcher back with Nurse and Kulak back with Bouchard. Both those pairings were clutch in previous series. Yep. Then put Ekholm with Walman and hope Walman doesn't get caught up in shenanigans again. Jake Walman, Trev fell in love with Walman. I mean, I think a lot of people have been having love affairs with Walman during this cup run, but specifically the laughing after game one. Yeah. He had the water bottle squirt. There 10,000 in fines that he accrued.
$10,000 well spent.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket for these guys. Come on. He's endearing himself.
Yeah.
He's interesting. He's got a skill set which I think is adored and is highly sexy. I mean, but your thoughts on him and I guess just how you see the blue line. As Hampton Steve says, Stetcher, Nurse, yes. Kulak back with Bouchard, Ekholm, Walman. Does that seem like the combination, I guess, for you?
I think any situation where you no longer have to worry about last change is probably a good call. And the way that you just lined up those 3 pairs, those are 3 pairs that you can throw out in any situation and not worry that they're going to get their head caved in.
Yes.
Right? So I actually, whereas when it was Klingberg out there, you worried. You worried that if it's a defensive zone faceoff, that they were just going to get absolutely hammered. Like Klingberg, I think, has
by the Panthers or the refs.
Right? Like Klingberg's going to get another contract. I don't know if it'll be here in Edmonton.
Oh yeah, he's played.
But he's an NHL defenseman.
Sure, yeah, the hips are great. Yeah.
And his vision, what he could probably bring to a team's power play specifically, he's going to get another contract. But he is also at that point where he is not taking one extra hit as a defenseman. He's just been through too much pain, too much rehab. And so he is a liability at times, especially on those defensive zone faceoffs, that if he's out there going, oh, they're going to run at me, he's not as efficient as those other pairs that we just mentioned.
Trev, is that your pairings tonight, or would you go somewhere else as well? Is this you agree with Hampton, Steve?
I'm going to respectfully disagree. I think you've got Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard, who I know it's last year and it's still a year ago, but they were, you could argue, a top 3. I don't even think you could argue it. They were a top 3 defensive pairing last year, so I don't know why you'd split that up. And if the reasoning is just to keep Walman in check, he's a grown man. He knows what he's doing. He's going to be fine. He's not going to do any of that in game number 4 here. So I would have Bouchard and Ekholm. They're just unreal. And even though they haven't been as good as last year, they haven't hurt the team. Like, they're doing just fine. They're doing their job. I would love to see Troy Stetcher forever. All the reasons you just said. And the biggest gripe about him is, Klingberg is such a good puck-moving defenseman. I mean, Troy Stetcher, he's not a slouch. He's not a bad. Yeah, like his first pass is pretty good. It's solid, and if he doesn't pass with it, he does not shy away with skating with the puck, as we've seen. He's really good with that. He's got good confidence right now. So I would love to see Stetcher, Nurse, and then you've got Ekholm or Kulak and who am I missing? Kulak and
Walman.
Walman, yes. Oh, of course. Yeah, Kulak and Walman. There we go. Yeah, so that's the pairings. That's what I would like to see.
Bramble Thistleforge texts in.
Okay.
Hell of a handle.
Wow.
Norm to Dave. Sun's getting low, big guy. Is this
okay? So yeah. That's an Incredible Hulk reference, right?
That's okay. That's
and
what
that
it is,
there was like Normie McIver to Dave Manson. There was a real sort of like Dave Manson whisperer type of
But
vibe.
it could be anybody else touching him. He doesn't react. He feels that touch from Norm, even with a glove on.
Yeah.
And he just kind of, it just melts.
Yeah. Norm, you're right. Yeah.
Sun's getting low, big guy.
Yeah.
Bramble Thistleforge, great text.
Yeah.
Could get you to A&W today. The bar has been set. Wow. Got to remember this one. Bramble Thistleforge. Hell of a handle, too. I don't see you too much in the Paris Toulouse box. But
he's just been waiting for a Norm McIver, Dave Manson reference.
Waiting to strike.
He's
Exactly.
been sitting there for 32 years going, one of these days, somebody's going to remember
my time.
Dave Manson and Norm McIver.
Cracks out the old Nokia.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get this in here. Once again, that's your fan zone this morning for Fans First. Of course, Oilers talk throughout. I mean, if there's any direction you would like to go, 780-218-9999, or in the nasty chat. I know the term psychological warfare has been brought up a few times, and you mentioned about, Skinner's head specifically, but I do wonder if this Panthers team, well, there's always clawing back. It's only 2-1. But are they a team unlike any other that when they do get that advantage, it is tougher to?
They have been built in a lab to be a perfect playoff team.
Ekblad's bit.
Right?
In the lab a bit,
Yeah, that's right.
That's a drug joke.
Hey. Yeah. But they are perfectly constructed with the right group of players that they understand just exactly what you're capable of doing in a playoff situation, because the referees do not enforce the same rules. They do enforce rules, but it's not the same as an 82 game regular season. It's also not the same as round one. Like each round, the rule book gets smaller and smaller.
We're going to get into this after the top of the hour because we were talking about this off air, and we like it, but we don't like it when it.
Right. Hockey fan is speaking out of both sides of their mouth.
When you're on the opposite end of it, I get it, but this is what you want.
Right? Like the Oilers are here again because they learned it too.
Yeah, but
right? Like if you watch the Oilers, especially in the second and the third round,
I know.
They hacked, they slashed,
yes.
they grabbed,
and they have the personnel that can do it now.
That's right.
However, this is the big boss.
Exactly.
And are the Canes and the Perrys and the Fredericks and the wherever you want to go up to the task of the.
That's right.
We'll discuss coming up Orange and Blue Breakfast 7:05 as Bruce Boudreau will be joining us at 8:30 today, so a bit of a scheduling shift, but we'll again dive deeper into the lineups as we know them. A bit of an injury report as well, and your thoughts on tonight's game, whether it's the psychological angle, the heavy hockey angle, or otherwise. 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. And if you are watching this morning, and if you haven't already, just give yourself a check. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't. Give the show a like. Helps in the algorithm. And subscribe to the channel. It is sub season. Our pursuit of 12.7K subs continues. You'll be locked in and kept abreast of everything going on Edmonton Sports Talk. Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, and YouTube Trev, a sports update right now for Expedia Cruises. On the way, Orange and Blue Breakfast. This is the Nielsen Show on EST, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers look to even up the series in Florida for Game 4. You can join Tom Gazzola live at Hudson's on Bourbon Street for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows starting at 5 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. On the hard court, the Indiana Pacers take Game 3 in the NBA Finals. 116-107 is the score. Canadian Benedict Mathurin led the way in Game 3 for the Pacers with a playoff career-high 27 points. Game 4 for this one goes Friday at 6:30. In the CFL, the Bombers get their season underway tonight when they host the 1-0 Lions with Dustin Nielsen on the call. The Edmonton Elks off for the week with a bye. In the majors, the Blue Jays sweep the 3-game series against the Cardinals, coming off a 5-2 win. The Jays will be back in action tomorrow to take on the Phillies. First pitch going at 4:45. Closer to home, the Edmonton Riverhawks lost last night in Kelowna to the Falcons. 3-2 is the score. That 3-game series comes to an end later tonight. First pitch at 6:35. And the Energy City Cactus Rats improved to 5-6 on the season after an 11-6 win over the Fort McMurray Giants. The Rats take the mound later today for a game against the Sylvan Lake Gulls. That one getting underway at 7:05. And round 1 of the U.S. Open is underway, where J.J. Spawn is tied for first. He is with Rory McIlroy. Both are -2 through 6. And Canadian Taylor Pendrith falls to 50th. He is now +2 through 6 as well. Get ready for our biggest sale of the year with Princess Cruises, running June 12th to 14th only. You can access exclusive offers during this 72-hour sale. Contact Chelsea LaBelle with Expedia Cruises in Northeast Edmonton or call 780-970-4834 to plan your next cruise vacation. I'm YouTube Trev. You're up to date.
He's just a forward forward named Matt, who plays for the Flames. A punk or a coward, a few of his names. He likes shooting and scoring and hits in the back. And when you're not looking, that's when he'll attack. He runs with his gloves, they're glued on his hands. Now it's pretty clear he's hated by fans. But sometimes that just ain't enough to keep a rat like him interested. Oh no, no way. No, he's got to go out and take runs at someone else's expense. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He makes dirty hits we don't want in the game, then covers up his head and hides in shame. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo-yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He aims for your back and then leaves his feet, while George and the league are saying, hey, that's sure neat. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo-yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He ducks and he runs to much safer spaces, while players with a sack are getting punched in their faces. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo-yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Maybe we shouldn't be singing this song with Dowdy and Cassian singing along. Maybe he'll find and prove us all wrong. Nah, he's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo-yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle.
Hey. 7:09, having a time here, Thursday edition of the Nielson Show. Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielson, as you heard on the sports update there with Trev, who's getting the plaudits in the nasty chat. Amazing sports update there. Dustin will have the call tonight. Week 2 in the CFL kicking off from Winnipeg. Blue Bombers 0-0, playing their home opener against the 1-0 British Columbia Lions tonight on TSN. Coverage gets underway at 6:30. So nice little flipper tonight between the Stanley Cup Final Game 4 and the CFL. You can kind of get those two going on. Get the old previous button.
Back one.
Back. Yeah.
Back it.
Kind of go.
Then I got to back. Yeah. And then I got to go back.
AMC will probably be running some sort of movie tonight that you'll have on the trio of. Yeah,
the Big Lebowski's on.
Fugitive again?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I don't care.
But I didn't do anything. I don't care.
He had a prosthetic limb. Find him. You find him.
The Nielsen Show is
Harrison Ford. Yeah.
God, I love that.
You find him.
Southford Chevrolet, drive a little, save a lot out in Fort Saskatchewan today or online, www.southfordchev.com. EST, of course, presenting sponsor, Play Alberta. We'll have Dusty's Early Bird Special coming up a little later on, midway through this hour, as Bruce Boudreau, once again, if you're just joining us, he'll be joining us at 8:30. Usually 7:05 is our hockey insider analyst for Pro-Am Sports. But I want to tell you this as well. We mentioned it in the opening hour. The Cooks and Boys have cooked up a little special for the Jays today, and it's in honor of Scuba Steve's failure for Kind of Easy Trivia yesterday, in which was mostly baseball questions. Mr. Cookson, Jack said, would it be wrong, mean to run a Blue Jays online or in-store EST exclusive 30% off sale on Jays hats today if you use the discount code Scuba Steve, all one word. That's Scuba Steve, 30% off Jays hats today. That's at Pro-Am, in-store or online, proamsports.ca.
I do have an exception to take with one of the things that he said there, Jack. I don't like that he associated wrong and mean together.
Yeah, he said, and I'm reading this, would it be wrong / mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, things can be mean that aren't wrong.
That's true.
Yeah.
And things can be wrong
that aren't mean. Yeah, they're not exclusive. So we can definitely be mean, and it'll be very right.
We're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not wrong, Jack. It is a great deal, and take advantage of this. Help, not that they need help, but I mean, give the Cookson some love. Let them know you're an EST listener. Once again, that discount code Scuba Steve in store at Pro-Am or online, proamsports.ca, and we'll keep peppering this throughout the morning. 30% sale, Jay's hats. So we'll get into the Orange and Blue breakfast now. I mean, not much is going to change from now to 8:30, you don't think. But with the Oilers right now, who knows?
It's 9:12 where they are.
Well, the way Chris Knoblock, well, yeah, exactly. So they're eating dinner by now.
That's right.
The Orange and Blue breakfast for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. And of course, Tom Gazzola will have your GCL Diesel pre and post game shows this evening, beginning at 5 o'clock here on EST, as you'll be live at Hudson's Bourbon Street, mixing up, seating you, doing the show. He's a man of everything down there at Hudson's Bourbon. So the lineups as we last saw them, and again with the Oilers right now, and I'm going to get into the psychological talk with you a little later on in the segment about everything that transpired yesterday. But for the Edmonton Oilers, last time we saw them, McDavid between RNH and Perry, Draisaitl, Kane, Kapanen, Henrique, Frederick Brown, Janmark, Podkolzin, Arvidsson. D pairings last time: Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Klingberg, Walman, Kulak, and of course Stuart Skinner in net. For the Florida Panthers, not needing to change much right now on their end.
No, it's all working.
And a pretty healthy bill with AJ Greer back in the fold, but Barkov, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, Bennett, Kachuk, Rodriguez, that lauded third line of Lundell, Luosterainen, and Marchand, and then you got Nozick, Reid Wilkins' favorite player, Jonah Gadjevich, and AJ Greer back in the fold. Ekblad, Forsling, Mikola Jones, Schmidt, Kulikov on the back end, and Sergei Bobrovsky minding the net. As for guys who are listed as not tough enough to play tonight, it's your podium physiotherapy injury report. Knee pain from that nagging ACL, hip or shoulder pain slowing you down, back pain after a long days of work. I know your back usually flares up when you're doing this in the co-host chair, right?
It's a lot of heavy lifting. You're right.
We've got you covered, whether it's a sports injury, post-op recovery, or the wear and tear of everyday life. Our expert team is here to get you back on track. Podio Physiotherapy. Unlock the athlete in you. For the Oilers, and somebody did mention it last hour as well, that Zach Hyman is probably, again, the biggest story in the what could have been if he was in this series and the way he was playing.
But last year they were in this situation as well. Leon Draisaitl was playing, but very injured.
Exactly.
Evander Kane was playing, but very injured.
Yeah.
Right. So injuries is always going to be part of the storyline.
And that's what I'm saying too, is I'd rather have somebody in the lineup that's healthy. Obviously not at the level maybe Zach Hyman is at, but at least healthy people out there. But boy, this series would be crying out for a guy like that. And
well, it'd be a very different series with a healthy Zach Hyman. But
the way he was hitting, though, and what we were talking about, getting in heads, response, instigating, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I think he's that guy too, that not necessarily in the response department, but the
instigates. He does not retaliate. Yeah. And that's what's going on out there.
Nugent Hopkins, of course, game time decision leading up to tonight's puck drop, so we'll keep an eye on that as things develop throughout the day. For the Florida Panthers right now, nothing. So they look like they're playing, of course, some probably nicks and bruises, banged up, but no one not tough enough to play tonight for the Florida Panthers. Key to an Oilers victory tonight, boys. We can kind of go around the horn here. What would you say is in this club's best interest? Dustin Nielson had a tweet yesterday or the night before. What worries you the most about this series thus far? But what would you say would be a key tonight to get back in this series?
The front of the Oilers net and the front of Florida's net.
That's where it's won and lost.
This is a trenches battle. And so making sure that the trench in front of your net is as clear as possible and making sure that you're just crowding the front of Florida's net. So I like that has been the tale of this series so far. So that easier said than done. Florida does it better than anyone else.
Yes. And, maybe with Klingberg not having to, that's something to add. Would you like to add a key to the ring here, Trev? Is there anything else, or would you agree with Will's assessment?
Stay out of the box. Not even close. Stay out of the box. It was so frustrating. You're the most veteran team in the NHL this year, and you need to show it. You absolutely have to show it. You need to be disciplined. It was very frustrating watching that. I know.
Well, Kane off the hop,
and
was that's a terrible way to start a game.
And that's what kind of getting at. Before Game 3, I think it was Friedman, and Nasty's correct me if I'm wrong, but he did a hit. It was like a one-on-one with one of the insiders, and it was a quick turnaround. It was about games 1 and 2, and he was asked, like, what do you need to do to counter, Bennett being physical in front of the net? What do you guys have to do? And he said something, I'm paraphrasing here, along the lines of, well, we can't be taking 10s, 5s, and 2s. We're a veteran team. I can't be going out there. I want to, but I can't be taking penalties. And immediately, I was like, okay, I like hearing this, but I mean, whether that actually happens, I don't know. And surely enough, his first shift on the game, he gets a penalty. He comes back out and he gets it again. So you kind of set the pace there, and it was tough to watch. So that, among other things, stick to your game. I know it's cliche, but stick to your game. Don't get into any of the antics that the Florida Panthers love to do. And I feel like they did a really good job at that in games 1 and 2. For the most part, when the Kachuk's getting in the Oilers players' faces, they're kind of smiling. They're like, I know exactly what you're doing. So just stick to what you did in games 1 and 2 and stay out of the damn box.
And that's where I'm going to go next. And we were talking the instigation, retaliation, balancing act. And I wonder, games 1 and 2 were here in Edmonton. If that plays into any sort of factor, you've got the hometown crowd breathing down the necks of both teams, albeit in a positive for the Oilers. I'm not saying that it's a hellscape to go play in Sunrise. It's not as intimidating as here. But again, that instigation, retaliation type of balance here, nobody does it better or has a better ratio than the Florida Panthers right now with that 3-headed monster. And I would just say that the Oilers are probably pretty close in a second for instigating, but it's that retaliation part that as Trev mentioned, you have to clean that up.
It's also just a timing thing. It's a misunderstanding of how officials act. Right?
You got to know how they're doing things.
This is how officials act, especially in the Stanley Cup, because you get a lot the same crews. Is they go through a game, at the end of the game, and especially the day in between, they get a report card, right? League offices goes through different plays where they missed their calls. They get judged on it. And so the first period of the next game where something had happened the game before, they call the rule book. It's in their head. And so they're looking to prove to themselves that they're actually calling it.
Because that's the main thing what the refs have is it's all then we'll worry about the rest.
They want to feel good about the
yes.
And so that first period, especially the first 10 minutes, they're going to call it straight up. And then especially if the game is tight, if it's a close game, that whistle will be harder and harder to blow. And so the stuff that you'll get away with 10 minutes into the game is different than the stuff that you can get away with in the first 10 minutes. And basically by 10-minute segments, that rule book gets narrower and narrower as far as what they're going to call. And so that's part of being a veteran as well, is understanding that we have to be polite in the first 10 minutes and we can be less polite after that, and then less polite to begin the second. And the longer that the game stays close, the less likely those officials will want to get involved in determining the outcome.
And that's why I think it's lazy to just bitch about the officials. And you certainly can. I'm not telling you how to fan. But it's the same as the LTIR thing, too. You have to know how, from experience, how the game is played or constructed or how the board sets out. And if you're not going to go by that, well, then that's your own problem for not picking it up, is it not?
Not only that, but all hockey fans, we've all seen this. We all know that if your team has gotten back-to-back power plays, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? They're going to find a reason to call a penalty on the other team. They like to even things up. They don't want to get involved late in games. In the overtime, you could mass murder and not get called.
But don't put a puck over the glass.
Well, you can't do anything that's an automatic penalty.
Yes, yeah, I know, yeah. But it's funny that way that you could mass murder somebody.
Yeah. Right.
You could even have too many men on the ice.
Yeah. Trust me, if they had a way to pull back that penalty, just retire it, they would. But they do still at least have some shame and know, well, we can't do that.
Yeah. It was Nozik's fault he put it over the glass, but the ref that made the call was probably thinking, boy, that's all on me.
Yeah, exactly. They hate it.
They hate
me. Yeah, exactly. They hate the fact. Yeah. Yeah.
Miles from
It's also why I do not understand in today's day and age why we have referees on the ice.
Oh, now you're getting into, now we're
Right? Like,
well,
just ask the question. Like,
because it's a traditional sport,
right? Do you want the rules enforced, or do you want the game to look the way it always has?
I want somebody to complain about. And that's the stripes. That's the black and white stripes.
So if you want
a winning boy.
Yes, if you want a convenient excuse, then you keep the referees on the ice. If you want the game to actually be called, then you move them up into a
that.
booth. Right?
You don't want that. I mean, do you want to go to umping here? It's the old fashioned way. It's a little greasy, you know.
It's true. Listen, if you prefer that, then that's
you're sick.
But then you also shouldn't be upset that they are so influenced. Right? Like
people want their cake and they want to
that they are so psychologically weak
Yeah.
that they have their human moments, right?
They are to err is human.
Well, they're as human as it gets.
Miles from St. Albert on a transit bus. Morning. Great show. To Oilers, please play your game. Avoid Florida's efforts to distract and muck it up. Fast, physical Oiler hockey. McD, big game tonight. Well, big-time players, big-time games, and...
not just big-time players. He wants to be considered the best
the biggest-time player.
Yeah.
JCD 780. We can talk about discipline or whatever, but it's all going to come down to goaltending. Stuart Skinner is going to need to stand on his head for the next games, plural, if we have any chance of winning. JCD 780. Where's another one here? Unsigned. Fans want consistency. I asked in what regard? If they are going to call too many men, call it all the time. If they're going to call cross checks, call it all game, not just in the first. Set the bar for the series. You must, but make sure you try to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
So is a little bit of consistency too much to hope for, Will?
Yeah, because that's not actually what anyone wants. Right? Like you don't want a penalty that's called in the first 2 minutes of the game to be called in overtime. I do, but I'm a sicko. Like I don't worship the version of hockey that the NHL plays as much as hardcore NHL fan does.
Yes.
Like, so I'm not paying the freight, right? I'm not a season ticket holder.
No, you have no.
I don't blame a business for erring towards what their customers want. And consistently their customers have shown that this is what they want, right? Like they don't, the customer of the NHL doesn't want the rule book called consistently.
If it benefits.
Yeah, but
if it's beneficial.
But even there, like I said, like part of what the official gives you is a convenient excuse, right? It lets you go, it wasn't my team. It was the officials robbed them, right? And if that's what gets you through the next day after a tough loss,
I'm not telling people how to fan. You fan.
That's fine. But this is not a perfect sport. But you didn't tune in for a perfect sport.
Keys to the game from Library Pat for me are power play effectiveness and discipline. Stop relying on just Draisaitl on the power play and stop taking penalties since the PK can go to hell. That's Library Pat. Great drop there. Somebody did chime in with an 11-7. Rick in the donut here. I'm going 7D.
Okay.
Playing spot duty for Klingberg Stetcher. Use Stetcher as a PK forward, not 97. Of course, McDavid's been zooming around there on the 97. They can double shift on the fourth line. Arvidsson out. Dump and crash if the Cats are standing us up on the blue line that comes in from Ricky.
Okay.
Trev, would you at all venture into that territory?
No way. No.
Well, taking any suggestion this morning, it's all good. No answers wrong.
Yeah, no, that's I like your reasoning. That's good. I like that.
He showed his work.
He showed his work, and that's what I expect for every text. But Knoblock's come out and said he doesn't like it. He can't. It's
not
ruins
one of the
flow.
things that he likes to.
It's not
use.
one of his things, so I don't expect it unless injury happens or But I there's no way going into tonight's game they go 11-7.
Real quickly, this text, and we'll get to Dusty's Play Alberta Early Bird special tonight in relation to tonight's Game 4. From Aaron, he texts in, do you see it as a positive sign or negative sign that the Oilers are on the ice for both of the off days in between games? And it goes into my... People will say, oh, it doesn't matter. But, the Panthers are sitting back. They're watching this happen. We saw yesterday with the... We're not on, and then we're on, and we're on. And Knoblock did say, too, the playoff heat. Like, I know things are said, and maybe they're just said in the spirit of conversation. He's talking to reporters, but everybody will dig in a little bit more. And, I don't know, bulletin board material, what have you. But you could come up with a theory that said the Oilers are running scared. You could also just say, hey, they lost a game, they want to get back on. So there's lots of ways you can kind of slice what happened over the last 2 days, specifically yesterday. But do you think that factors in at all? I mean, to how the Panthers are thinking, and do you think it's? I mean, look, if he wanted the players on the ice and they're skating, that's great, but a little detrimental in terms of the mental war and the psychological game.
Well, the Panthers are up 2-1. They've won 2 straight games. They have very little to worry about in their game. The Oilers, meanwhile, got shellacked.
Things to work on,
and they have people on their staff whose job is to review game film and to give insight into areas that can be worked on. So a glass half full is they've identified something and they wanted to work on it on the ice with their players, so that their players realize that there is a mistake that is consistently being made that needs to be fixed.
But the avoidance of the then we won't and then we are that type of you don't really see. I mean, the teeming masses of media were just, oh boy, I can't believe this. In hockey, a coach said something and then they did something else they weren't, and then we were taken for a trip here.
Sure.
I mean, and it's kind of, look, we were giggling prior to the show. We kind of find it funny. I mean, we're not in the MSM or whatever.
By the way, there's no such thing.
I don't really care. I mean, if they get their tape or what, I mean, look, I wish them well, but I find it funny. Is it gamesmanship? Is it like, what is it? Why would they choose to do that? Or is it just one of those things where they weren't even planning on it? They find something, they say, okay.
I was going to say, I think go to the easiest solution.
Like, are we reading too much into it? Because the media says, hey, we couldn't watch
the easiest thing here is they changed their mind.
Yes, and that's I hear you.
Like, and it could be a couple of different things. Yeah, you could have had the video coach go, this really is sticking out, and the head coach look at it once and go, no, I think we're okay, and then it gets stuck in his head a little bit, and he decides, you know what? No, I want to address this. Or it could be as simple as the head coach being like, no, I think we're good, and then one of his leadership, be it a McDavid, be it a Draisaitl, goes to the coach and says, no, coach, we need to hit the ice today.
That's what Bone says. He goes, my guess is 29-97 decided everyone needed to skate. Talk about the game. And again, that's kind of where I come out on it too. I do find it always, though, when these things happen, specifically in this sport, we always get very conspiratorial. And the if the media is the victim here, then we really kind of...
Well, we want it both ways as fans, right? We want these guys to be the biggest idiots in the world who can't see the obvious to save their life. And they are so high-level thinkers that they're playing 4-dimensional chess, moving pieces around that we can't even see.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, pick a lane. These are either the dumbest people you've ever seen or they're geniuses, and you don't get to switch back and forth, right?
Well,
like, if you think it's all a conspiracy, then yes. But moving forward, these guys are smarter and more clever than you could ever imagine. Or they're idiots, and of course, somebody just changed their mind, because that's what idiots do.
But like the officiating, we want it both ways.
Right, exactly.
You can't. Let's get to the Play Alberta Early Bird real quick here. We'll have a sports update from YouTube Trev here momentarily for Park Mazda. You getting into it, and you getting nasty in the nasty chat, or what?
Oh, no.
Is it all above board here?
Yeah,
is there some back and forth going on there?
No, I just said,
come on, buddy.
I disagree.
Is that what you said?
Okay, that's good. Yeah. But nobody's...
No, it's all good.
We don't need to... We're all on the same... We all want the same thing here.
What were you disagreeing on?
The Panthers are living rent-free in Edmonton's head.
And you said, I disagree.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, the rent-free thing, Rick and Morty just did a takedown on that.
Oh, is that right?
like that's a phrase that probably needs to end.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why don't we just say they're free men on the land in their head? Hey, you like that one. You like that one. Yeah.
Makes way more sense.
Squatting in the cranium.
Yeah.
PlayAlberta.ca.
They've put up new fencing and they've improved it, and now they're claiming squatters' rights.
They saw your cat out for a walk, took it home, and now it's theirs.
Yeah. I like that one.
PlayAlberta.ca. Hit the sports tab on the top. On the left, you'll see odds boosts, daily specials, EST specials. That's where you'll want to go to find Dusty's early bird for tonight. He's got the Oilers to win money line, McDavid and Draisaitl 2+ points. That's plus 325. You can get it at right now. So do a little sprinkle. Maybe take advantage of those June codes.
I have a friend who had to do that for his dog. He had to go and reclaim his dog from his neighbor.
Well, you know the cat. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that we're on the
went next door. They'd bought him dog food. They'd gotten him his own bowl. He'd been living there for 5 days.
What dog?
Yeah.
No, that's our dog.
Yeah,
no, that's my dog.
No, that's mine. What are you doing?
It's ours.
Well, he just comes over, so we thought we'd let him inside.
They don't know. Like, it's okay. For the month of June, EST Casino, $20 deposit for a $50 casino code. EST Sports, that's a $20 deposit for a $50 free bet. Then the YAG 50 code, which continues to run. That's a minimum $5 deposit for a $50 free bet. So take advantage of any of those. EST Casino, obviously with the casino, but EST Sports or YAG 50 for tonight. It's Dustin's early bird. Oilers money line, McDavid and Draisaitl 2+ points. You can get that at plus 325 up at playalberta.ca. Let's hit a sports update right now for our fine folks at Park Mazda, Mitch Lewicki and the crew. Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, and YouTube Trev here on the Nielsen Show, presented by South Fort Chevrolet.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers look to even up the series in Florida for Game 4. You can join Tom Gazzola live at Hudson's on Bourbon Street for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show starting at 5 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. On the hard court, the Indiana Pacers take Game 3 in the NBA Finals. 116-107 is the score. Canadian Benedict Mathurin led the way in Game 3 for the Pacers with a playoff career-high 27 points. Game 4 for this one goes Friday at 6:30. In the CFL, the Bombers get their season underway tonight when they host the 1-0 Lions with Dustin Nielsen on the call. The Edmonton Elks off for the week with a bye. In the majors, the Blue Jays sweep the 3-game series against the Cardinals, coming off a 5-2 win. The Jays will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Phillies. First pitch going at 4:45. And closer to home, the Edmonton Riverhawks lost last night in Kelowna to the Falcons. 3-2 is the score. That 3-game series comes to an end later tonight. First pitch at 6:35. And the Energy City Cactus Rats improved to 5-6 on the season after an 11-6 win over the Fort McMurray Giants. The Rats take the mound later today for a game against the Sylvan Lake Ghouls. That one getting underway at 7:05. And round 1 of the U.S. Open is underway. JJ Spawn currently is the top of the leaderboard. He is -4 through 8, while Canadian Taylor Pendrith has moved up. He is tied for 32nd, +1 through 8. The sports update brought to you by the fine folks at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, your dealer for life.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you can afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as newborn 8-pound, 6-ounce Mitch Lewicki. You can picture grown-up Mitch, or teenage Mitch, or bearded Mitch, or whoever you want.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Oh yeah! Pour it on! You wanna win it! Game on, yeah! Oh, baby! It's time to play with disdain. If you wanna lift the cup again, are insane. Rock and Rogers Place. Rock and Rogers Place.
McDavid moving in with speed. He shoots. He scores.
I'm on this train and hang on. You know they got it. Ain't no looking back. It's a tough road to the cup. Gotta win for in the best of sevens. And yes, they lift the cup again. Got no doubt in my head. And yes, they lift the cup again. Oh man, playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. Rock and Rogers Place. Rock and Rogers Place. Yeah. Playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. Rock and Rogers Place. Oh, Rock and Rogers Place.
Pour it on.
Zach Hyman moving in. Risker shoot. Scores. Zach Hyman.
We'll crack a beer for this glorious time. You've been waiting. You've been waiting. The top line's just a flying, cause man, yeah, they want one. You know they want to. Can you feel it? Can you feel it tonight? Can't go high glove, cause Stewie Skins is a guy. It's the moment, yeah, they're rolling tonight. Get your hands up, right to the cup. And yes, they lift the cup again. Got no doubt in my head. And yes, they lift the cup again. Oh man, playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. Rock and Rogers Place. Rock and Rogers Place. Yeah. Playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. Rock and Rogers Place. Oh, Rock and Rogers Place.
Surely that's gotta be it.
19-year-old girl.
Yeah, okay. 7:39 on the Nielson Show. Reid Wilkins will be joining us. Is he? Let me know when he's in the mix. Hopefully, we didn't really connect. He usually has to ask if we want him on, which I say yes, of course, Reid, we do. So we'll be waiting for Reid. Once again, Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen this morning and tomorrow. Lieutenant Eric YouTube Trev here. Let's get into I Got Beef right now for Acme Meets. Cory the Butcher and Acme Meets. The guy he met in the park walking yesterday actually chimed in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was me. VJ, I believe his name was. Hey, I was the one who saw Cory the Butcher in the Wild yesterday. He had the blue ES t-shirt on. My comment was that I had the black one. Told him I've been listening since the beginning of time. Didn't text in a lot. A little nervous to do so. He told me to get a good handle and start firing away. I guess I got to get creative juices going. That'll be a beef for me this morning. I mean, if you do listen and don't text in, there's nothing to be intimidated about.
That's what I was just going to say. I think he's a liar when he says that he's been listening since the beginning of time. Because if he had, he would know that the standards for texting in are not high.
There is no
stand.
There's no rule. I know we have a nasty chat. I mean,
I have to get the creative juices going. No, you could literally just have 1 point and you can text that in every 10 minutes.
Whatever you want. And you've texted in before, so you're a liar. And you do have a handle, which is VJ. So, and that's creative enough. Yeah. It lets the mind wonder what it could stand for.
Yeah. He's an old school Much Music host.
That's the old video jockey. Yeah. Yeah. So Rick the Temp, thank you for listening, and good to see you. Do you have any beefs, gentlemen? 780-218-9999. If you have a beef, text it in. It's for Cory the Butcher and Acme Meets. Check them out today in the Ritchie Block. If you're looking to maybe throw something on the queue this evening, that would be the place to go. Eat fresh, eat local, eat Acme. Acme Meets, serving Edmonton for over 100 years, 9570 76th Avenue.
My beef is really simple. The NBA and the media who cover it, they're only interested in the soap opera, right? Like they really don't care about the quality of the sport,
the X's and O's,
the X's and O's, the drama of the games. They don't. Which is why there has been more ink spilled on whether or not Kevin Durant is going to seek a trade somewhere than there has been on their own finals, which features its best player taking on its best team.
Have the Knicks reached out to Tom Thibodeau yet?
Right. Just it it hurts my brain the amount of ink that 40 and 38-year-old players get in the end. Like, you think that the NHL worships its old players too much?
The old boys
it's
club.
no contest when it comes to the NBA, because SGA is the best player in the NBA.
Canadian.
And he is in the finals.
Canadian. That weighs, you know that has something to do with it.
And no one is paying attention.
If he was from blank city, USA,
right.
yeah, we would be shoved down our throats.
Well, except for now to be fair, like Luka Doncic,
we love European ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a different.
I think they like the places that they can't pronounce.
Yes, because
just
it's
as
cute,
much,
and he's cuddly, and oh, look at him. In the off season he drives cart.
That's right,
with horse and
right, exactly. Yeah,
it's turnip. Yeah.
He owns a pony. I love my pony. Anyways, it drives me wild because, and the flip side is you have an Indiana Pacers team that this is not a flash in a pan. They've been building this moment for 5 seasons. And so they'll spend all the time in the offseason talking about teams that should tear it down and build it up. And then the ones that actually do it, that actually follow the program, make the right additions, and then get to a final, they couldn't care less. It drives me nuts.
Lou Dort, SGA, Benedict Mathurin, Pascal Siakam.
Yes.
It's not their final.
It's good basketball, too.
This is our game. Should we start saying that?
Yeah. I think we have every right to, man.
I agree, and it drives them nuts.
Yeah.
Trev, do you have beef with anything going on in your life or the sports realm or anything?
Well, I mean, I'll rattle this off quickly. I'm baffled by the disc golf etiquette here in Edmonton. It's honestly
interesting.
It's just embarrassing.
Okay.
I was playing yesterday and I was having a really good time by myself.
It was fun. By yourself.
And then the next thing I know, like 3 buses of kids come on out.
Yeah.
And I'm on hole like 4, I think.
Yeah.
3 buses of kids.
It was ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, the teacher's, okay, here you go have fun. The buses went away, which I found weird. And then the kids were just there. I think that they were being supervised, but they go on the hole that I was at. Like I was in the middle of play and they just start throwing, and I'm like, okay, well, you don't do that. Like, I'm playing and I was shooting really good. I was having a lot of fun. So then I got mad and I left.
Okay.
And I have significant beef with the school, the teachers, the kids, all of them.
I don't disagree with your beef that there is a lack of courtesy. However,
it's respect.
However,
I'm an elder.
How much did you pay for your round?
I don't want to answer that.
How much did you pay?
No, it was free.
Can we guess?
It was
Exactly.
free.
So you can't complain about what happened on the free course, right?
Well,
and that's the thing. Frisbee golf, I don't play it personally, but it is growing in popularity like crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And so, do you want to have private courses?
Not entirely. Not really.
then-
That's my favorite part about it is that it is free. But
Like if golf courses started putting in the chain holes,
yeah,
would you pay green fees to be able to play on a golf course?
probably not.
Well, then you
Yeah.
got to deal with unruly
A
children.
little washing station for the Frisbee? Hey?
That's right. Yeah.
I just
I like that.
audacity though. Like it was just like nothing. They didn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
And it was just I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. Like my jaw dropped.
Maybe you had a moment there to teach the younger generation.
I should have.
Maybe you should have said, "Hey, kids, want me to show you how this game is played?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the problem is not enough guys like you have taught the ethic or the etiquette around.
Yeah. Yeah, so I need to be better then.
Yeah.
Turning beef inward.
Yeah, that's
I like
right.
it. It's inner beef.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
First of all,
I know it's not your fault. Just opportunity.
Ask
maybe.
yourself, how could I have made this better?
Okay, I'll do that every day. No.
Yes.
Or you
Yes.
could have started just punching kids,
Oh, that would have been great.
just drifting them.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that they would just willy-nilly the next time?
Yeah.
do
No,
you think?
they'd learn their lesson.
Exactly.
They know what's up.
Yeah. You get hit by a car, you learn to look both ways before you cross the street.
That's a good point.
Carrot or the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, so that's my beef.
Jason and Leduc, for every text that gets read, I probably send 15 that get completely ignored. It's good practice for rejection when you get read on air. That dopamine hit is amazing.
Yeah.
That dopamine. You're welcome for the dopamine hit this morning, Jason. Good to see you the other day.
That's the good stuff right there.
Stupid Asso says the NBA can suck it. He's not specific with...
Just in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
J-A-E says, boys, I got beef with Will going full Paul Maurice, telling me that I have to retire rent-free.
Yeah.
Let me be me, Paul or Will.
I'm not. I said I think there's something going on in the greater society that we're moving on from that phrase. It's been overused.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like he's ready to go in the bullpen, and appreciate his time as always here. One Reid Wilkins, you can catch him. Smash Hit Show, our resident ranter. Ranting Reid Wilkins joining us. He'll be on today 3 to 5. Of course, Tommy, the GCL Diesel pregame show gets underway at 5 o'clock here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But Reid, thanks again for returning. I never know when it'll be the last appearance on this program for you. Like to live a little dangerously.
What are you talking
Fraser.
about?
Well, I just don't know. I would assume that you'd be like, this is, I don't need this.
It's the way he lives life. Eric lives life like every conversation he has may be his last.
Yeah, but I also don't like saying goodbye.
Well, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, thank you, but I don't believe it. It's nothing against you. I just would think that, and here we are. Why would you want to come back after? Can we start with the rant, though, please? We played it yesterday on the show. If people missed it, it's on our X account, Instagram, all over the internet. It went viral. Can you kind of take us through was it an off-the-cuff moment? Was it something that you kind of had in the drawer? A lot of those, Tiny Tims. I mean, where were you at mentally while that was being read on air?
Well, it was a planned discussion that I wanted to have with Jay. And, sometimes the way Jay and I plan a show is we don't go right down to the detail. Like one guy will say, hey, I want to talk about this. The other guy might say, okay, what are you thinking? And the other guy might say a sentence or two, and then we'll be like, okay, stop there. Leave it. Then we leave it for on air so we can kind of react without it feeling rehearsed. But we'll kind of have a very a loose skeleton of it just so we're both prepared for what the idea is. And maybe the guy who didn't have the idea will come up with some things to contribute to it. So that was my idea, that I just was kind of surprised at the extent to which a lot of people who talk about hockey a lot, let's face it, a lot of people in the media were like freaking out that the Oilers cross-checked and tried to fight in a blowout game in which they were very frustrated. So that's sort of where that started. I think I've explained that I think that that's quite normal. It doesn't happen every blowout game, but it certainly happens sometimes. And the Oilers are playing in the biggest possible series you can play in the NHL, so they're probably going to react to losing that badly. So that, and the point I made as well, the Panthers would have likely behaved the same way. Now, the section that got tweeted out, and that maybe a lot of people have seen who didn't watch the entire show. That was off the cuff. So I had this idea, and then once we start going and maybe I get rolling and I get into it and a silly voice comes out, so that the Tiny Tim stuff and the polio and all that was in the moment. And I realized, but part of that too is for some reason we don't do it like a lot. Like we could literally go 3 years without doing it, but my dad and I like making Tiny Tim references just randomly. So once I said polio, I realized, well, now I have to work Tiny Tim into this for my dad. So that's so Sam Bennett being Tiny Tim in the school play. That's where that came from. But don't you guys think it was? Where did you guys think it was overblown?
Where did the Tiny Tim with your dad? Like, were you playing Tiny Tim at one point? Like, where did that come up?
No, I don't know. We probably just I don't know. We probably one of us probably did something goofy at Christmas, or did a Tiny Tim voice, or at Christmas dinner we started doing the character. I don't know where it came from exactly.
You like to pick on crippled kids. I get it.
Well, that's saying what we think here. But
look, he's fictional, okay? All right? Jeez. He's a fictional
different shows
character.
about that story depicted in a different way.
Sure.
Like,
did he have polio? I don't even know what he had, actually.
well,
but-
he just, I don't know, like one of those medieval things. He had crutches, right?
A horse and buggy ran over him.
Horse, yeah.
Yeah, he
could have had vampirism for all we know, but he was still wasn't fully
probably
affecting
rickets.
him. So he could be up during the day, but he was weaker, because of the sunlight.
Yeah, he needed some fortified flour when he was younger. He suffered rickets.
Okay. Well, we were talking earlier, and on that rant note, in the topic of it, retaliation, intimidation, all of these sort of things. Right now, the Panthers are winning that ratio, correct? Coming out of that game 3. How do you think the Oilers, I mean, a lot of people saying don't focus on that, play the game, whatever, but you did say this is the Cup. You're playing a team that love to play that. It's in their DNA. I don't think you can avoid it completely. But how do you kind of foresee tonight, knowing this Oilers team, how do you see them answering the bell tonight, knowing what kind of took place and how that game 3 ended?
Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to play like that again because they know that cost them the series. And I mean, if they do come out and play like that again, shame on them, given how not just a storyline for people talking about the series. One of the things they keep saying is how experienced they are. And we've been here before and we learned from last year. I think they just here's what I would say. They have to play the way they played game 5 against Vegas. They have to play a hard, responsible game that ends 1-0 or 2-1, and they have to believe that they're going to get the winning goal in the end, like Kapanen got for them in overtime against Vegas. Now, it's going to be harder to do that against Florida because Florida is obviously even better than Vegas. But I think that's the mentality that they have to have. They're going to get pucks out. They're going to chip pucks. They're still going to hit. They're still going to be aggressive, but they can't turn it over in dangerous areas of the ice. And they can't spend a lot of time in the penalty box and let Florida, goad you into things and then mock you when you do those things. You have to try to frustrate the Panthers a little bit because as experienced as the Panthers are, I think that they're capable of being frustrated like the Oilers were the other night. I think that's just human nature. And I think we know that the Panthers have a lot of guys who can go a little nuts themselves. So I want to see. I want to see them getting the puck in the Panthers zone. I want to see them hitting their defense. I want to see them trying to cycle and create plays by winning board battles. That's what I want to see from the Oilers tonight.
They're at their best when they think somebody is wrong, right? Like we saw it last year when they went down 3-0. You saw McDavid basically will that team for the next 3 games just to prove everyone wrong, right? We saw it against LA when everyone was like, well, maybe the Oilers just aren't good enough. And the LA Kings kind of had that attitude of like, we're better than you now. And you saw the Oilers respond with, no, you're wrong, and I'm going to prove it to you. They don't do well as victims, though. Like, when they feel like everyone's out to get them, that's when they end up in a 6-1 blowout. They have to just start thinking people are wrong. Is that kind of your take?
Well, I think that they've proven that they wake up a little bit when they're in a hole.
Yeah.
And I know that that's frustrated a lot of people, but last year's playoffs, certainly they were down all the time against Vancouver. They were down 2-1 against Dallas. They were down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final. This year might be a little different in rounds 2 and 3. I know they lost the first game to Dallas, but it was only 1-0. And they kind of controlled the series after that. But yes, I think you hope that team comes out that sort of has this mentality, oh, crap. They're only 2 wins away from eliminating us, and we need to win 3 out of 4. Let's get going. I hope that they'd move past that a little, but they didn't. No, they didn't start the series that way, to be fair. They split the first 2 games. They probably deserved the win in game 1, even though it went to overtime. Florida probably deserved the win in game 2. Clearly, Florida was better in game 3. So now maybe they can draw on that and they can say, okay, we know what it's like to be down and we know what it is like to play a much better game. Now, Florida probably smells blood. That's the other side of this. And they've obviously tasted the blood of a lot of victims over the last 3 seasons, going to the Stanley Cup final 3 times. So that's what makes this interesting tonight. how is Florida going to play? Like, are they going to come out trying to be a little chippy and a little dicey and say, let's get these guys in the penalty box? Because I really don't think that will work again. So, I think Florida is probably expecting, again, probably a 1-0 or 2-0 game, and they're going to be comfortable in that as well, especially with their goaltender.
Is this a game, Reid, that you think, all games crowd for Connor McDavid? Obviously, you don't need to kind of go over how good he is and et cetera, but 5-on-5, Oilers almost doubling the shot output against the Panthers, but outscored 4-2. Something's got to break here either one way. I mean, the Panthers either, start to lock him down and eliminate the shots and then the score, or is this where Connor McDavid... I said big-time players, big-time games. You said it's even more than that because of who he is. Is this the night that screams out for him, and do you see that becoming a thing tonight?
Well, I think that's a good way to put it. It does scream out for him. I mean, he's been very good in this series. He's created a couple spectacular goals and has created a bunch of other chances, but he was pretty much negated in Game 3, as was Leon. I mean, Leon didn't have a shot at Tampa, I believe. So it does kind of cry out for them to respond. This is a home run hitter coming off an 0-for-5 game with 3 strikeouts and 2 feeble groundouts. Yeah, and he's got to start making contact. I didn't see the Stephen A. Smith. But I saw the quote, and I'm just like, something I got beef with. This guy is all bluster and no actual content. Like, 13 shots on goal and no goals. It's like, dude, you know how hockey works? Sometimes a really good player can get 27 shots on goal over 3 weeks and not score. I mean, that's the game. So I don't think it's like I don't think it's this like choke situation or, well, he's actually not that good.
Well, if they were getting outshot by a 2-to-1 ratio as well with the score as it is, but they're getting there, as you said. He's making plays, things are happening, but it's just whether or not the dam kind of cracks, I guess, in terms of that.
And if they can get to Bobrovsky, and I guess they scored 9 goals on Bobrovsky in the first 2 games, 8 goals. So, which isn't bad, but then they only got 1 last game and didn't have a lot of chances. And we had Marty Baron on our show yesterday, and I said, how would you tell the Oilers to score on him? And he said, you have to elevate the puck. Like he said, you absolutely will not beat him on the ice. He's too good with his pads and too good with his lateral movement. So you got to elevate the puck. And we have seen that with Bobrovsky. A fair number of goals on him will even hit underneath his wrist and then go in because he has his glove so high. So they got to get to the net and they got to try to elevate the puck. And McDavid is a guy that can do that. Now, Florida's excellent defending the neutral zone and they're excellent back checking and they're excellent surrounding McDavid. But this all comes to the thing, get the puck going north, don't be shorthanded so you can create a rhythm with all 4 lines getting out there because the Oilers have been able to build on that in other series.
And finally here, Reid, what did you make of the 7D chess that Chris Knoblock was playing yesterday with will they skate, will they not? Oh, surprise, here they are. Is that, I mean, we were talking earlier, I think you basically just go to a decision was made, maybe from the veteran group, the staff, whatever. But I mean, we're just aghast in hockey when anything happens that's not traditional and the media get thrown for a bone over there and they go over there. So what did you make of that whole thing yesterday, if anything?
Well, I don't think Knobloch's playing 7D chess. I think that the simple fact is more players than expected decided to skate on their day off. I mean, it wasn't just Noah Philp or whatever. I'm not even sure if he's there as a black ace. However many black aces were traveling and, Pud Colson and Brown or whoever. It was surprising that Draisaitl and McDavid were out there. I don't know if this is a sign that the Oilers are rattled. I don't know if this is a sign that they're trying to manipulate Florida or reporters or anything like that. And I talked about this on my show yesterday, and I realized most people don't care about the media. I know a lot of people didn't like what Rashog and Speck tweeted, but I would, and I'm not there obviously, but I would think their point is they don't want to set a precedent where the 2 of the biggest names in the league are withheld from the media because really usually that's who people want to hear from.
Yeah.
And there was a day earlier in the series when the NA, because I believe the request went in to have McDavid one day and Draisaitl the next day, and the NHL said, no, they're both speaking today. And then yesterday, I from what I've been told, I have talked to some people there, I was told that when the NHL was asked, okay, what happened with this practice where we didn't know they were going to be on the ice, the NHL said, well, we can't control that. So I think that's some of the frustration from reporters is the NHL wants it both ways. Okay, we're going to tell you, no, we're going to ignore your requests and tell you these guys are available exactly when, but then we're not going to tell you and throw our hands up and say we can't control it when something else happens. I realize it's inside baseball stuff. I realize a lot of people don't care, but if you want my knowledge of it and how things usually work, that's what I can tell you. I mean, am I personally upset about it? No, but it was unusual.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want people like Stephen A. Smith to be more educated about the game and know about these guys, you got to get them in front of mics when they should be, right?
That's a good point. Yeah,
I mean, it's the only way Stephen A. is going to learn.
Reid, he's not shooting free throws, and he went 0 for 13. Like he's shooting on Bobrovsky. Yeah.
He probably doesn't even know that, so we kind of forgive him.
Well, he's not paid to know. He's paid for hot takes.
Oh, well, that's you love a good hot take, don't you, Will? You love today's society.
This has been quite a year. This has been quite a year of where hot takes have gone to die.
How about those Preds?
Yeah, exactly.
Reid, we really appreciate your time, especially on a game day. Good luck, and I'll see you when you get in later on this morning.
Yeah, especially on a game day. What, I'm going to lose focus tonight because I was on at 7:45?
I don't know. I know you're like ready to go, you know. You're looking great. I can't wait to see you.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Reid.
Thanks for your time, Reid. I love that man.
Impossible not to love.
No, I find me. I'm sure there's a few people back at his old days at he tells me some stories. They had open line time, much like we did, right? So you always get people that kind of. Sure, he's got
nothing I hated more.
Yeah. We don't do it here.
Yeah. Nothing I hated more.
But we'll get one of you on the phone coming up next for kind of easy trivia. Will's got the questions. You need 3 out of 5, and we're sending you to Mr. Mike's. And they're $50 GCs right now.
Oh my God.
I think Mr. Mike made a bit of a
that's an oopsie.
Yeah, but you're going to Mr. Mike's and in a big way. And of course it is Platterpalooza right now. So if you want to play trivia coming up next, text in 780-218-9999 Paris Jewelers inbox. Say, Trev, I want to play. 780-218-9999. Also want to mention today as well, Dustin did text my personal phone. He's listening. He's a big fan of the show.
That's nice.
He said, mention those Blue Jays hats about the Pro-Am, which I did. You can attest, right?
You did.
Yeah.
Did he say that he loved you, by the way?
Oh, no. We don't.
I love you.
You don't.
Just heart emojis?
Nah, he knows. We all know.
Yeah.
But once again, in honor of Scuba Steve failing kind of easy trivia yesterday.
Oh, man.
In a miraculous way.
We are just beating him to a pulp, aren't we?
It was terrible. Well, would it be wrong or mean to use him and his failure as a
it would be
marketing
mean.
opportunity?
Yeah, it'd be mean.
Yeah,
but it's not
wrong.
Yeah.
It is only right. Mm-hmm. It's an EST exclusive at Pro-Am today. Blue Jays hats, 30% sale today. So you can either go in-store or online at proamsports.ca. Jays hats, they're on a heater right now. Get them while they're hot, and 30% is a great deal, courtesy of the Cooks and Boys and Pro Am Sports. Discount code Scuba Steve, all one word. Text Trev, you want to play? Coming up next, trivia, 3 questions too many. If you want, I got one more spot for a question. Bruce Boudreau for Pro Am will be on the way at around 8:30. He'll get you locked and loaded for tonight's game. And that's all ahead of the wrap here as we kick off Hour 3 on the Nielsen Show, presented by Southford Chevrolet here on EST, presented by Play Alberta.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers look to even up the series in Florida for Game 4. You can join Tom Gazzola live at Hudson's on Bourbon Street for GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show starting at 5 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. On the hard court, the Indiana Pacers take Game 3 in the NBA Finals. 116-107 is the score. Canadian Benedict Mathurin led the way in Game 3 for the Pacers with a playoff career-high 27 points. Game 4 for this one goes Friday at 6:30. In the CFL, the Bombers get their season underway tonight when they host the 1-0 Lions with Dustin Nielsen on the call. The Edmonton Elks off for the week with a bye. In the majors, the Blue Jays remain red hot after beating the Cardinals 5-2 in yesterday's game, winning 12 of their last 14. The Jays will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Phillies. First pitch going at 4:45. Closer to home, the Edmonton Riverhawks lost last night in Kelowna to the Falcons. 3-2 is the score. That three-game series comes to an end later tonight. First pitch at 6:35. And the Energy City Cactus Rats improved to 5-6 on the season after an 11-6 win over the Fort McMurray Giants. The Rats take the mound later today for a game against the Silver Lake Gulls. That one getting underway at 7:05. And round one of the U.S. Open is underway. American JJ Spawn is at the top of the leaderboard. He is -4 through 10, while Canadian Taylor Pendrith is making his way up there. He is now tied for 21st. He is +1 through 10. I'm YouTube Trev. Now you're up to date.
Step inside Rogers Place. Play La Bamba, baby.
Play La Bamba, baby.
We're a dangerous team when we're rolling, and we're healthy, and we are healthy.
Cup is on the line, baby, come and get it done. 16 wins, yeah, they're going on a run. Looking to advance, going deep in the dance. Hop on the bandwagon, let's hear the fans. The fans.
Special place to play, honestly. So much history, these fans. It was great to hear their sport.
Wrestling in the dazzling every single night. Clubs coming up, baby, gonna be a fight. 6 games, 5 games, how about a sweep? Ticket prices, yeah, they're gonna be steep, yeah. Yeah! Come on! It's the playoffs! Crank it up! It's the playoffs! Take the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Ooh, gotta get the cup! Let's go win the Stanley! Come on, lift it up! Let's go win the Stanley! Waited long enough. It's time. No more wait for the oil. It's the fate, yeah. Hey! Hey! Listen. First gear, second gear, third gear, go. McDavid 97, he's a one-man show. Draisaitl, Iverson, gotta love the nude. Bruce Skinner and picks need to be huge. Be huge. Be huge. They gotta squeeze a little, squeeze a little, squeeze a little more. Get the bottom 6 to find a way to score. One time, overtime, gotta find a way. Jam-packed Moss Pit going insane. Yeah! Yeah! Cheer a little more. It's the playoffs. Crank it up. It's the playoffs. Take the cup. Let's go win the Stanley. Ooh, gotta get the cup. Let's go win the Stanley. Come on, lift it up. Let's go win the Stanley. Waited long enough.
10 after 8 on a Thursday morning. You're tuned into the Nielson Show on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps. Of course, at edmontonsportstalk.com 24/7. And on YouTube this morning, if you are watching along, don't be shy and don't be forgetful. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Helps in the algorithm. And subscribe to the channel. As always, the pursuit of 12.7K subs continues. Not DOMs, Will. Subs. J-Mo loves that joke. He always asks about DOMs instead of subs. And I know a few people.
He always would.
Yeah, no, he's obsessed with that Dom subculture. Still looking for one more question for 3 questions too many. And specifically when we do have a guest host here on the table, I don't mind if the questions are pointed at their direction. You can get to know a little bit about them. I mean, I haven't done a show with you. I think we were talking about since the fall when Dustin was down with malaria there for a bit. And
yeah.
So it's been a while. We were kind of
monkeypox. Yeah. He'd been spending too much time in saunas. Yeah.
We talked earlier. This is his. This is the top of the.
It doesn't get any better than this.
This is the best time of year for him because he hasn't called the game. Well, he called one.
Yeah.
But he's getting his. He got a haircut.
Yeah.
It's summer, but it's when we get into those. The weather turns. He's been calling games for weeks on end.
When I worked with him, this was like the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Because basically, starting now, he would have his trip planned to the draft.
Well, he went on the boys' golf trip last week, so he's done that.
Yeah, that's right. He would do the boys' golf trip. Things would kind of be okay, but he would have went a little too hard at the golf trip.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's okay, yeah.
But then he'd go to the draft, and it would he'd be done for the next 3 months.
Kids go back in school though in the fall too. That's always. It's just. So this is the best. This is the best in Justin Nielsen. He'll be back Monday. Got the call tonight, as you heard Trev mention, Bombers and Lions from the Winnipeg. And we'll be back tomorrow as well, breaking down Game 4, which we'll get to more so in this third and final hour of the Nielsen Show, presented by South Fort Chevrolet, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. Time for a little kind of easy trivia. And it's for Mr. Mike's. They're turning up the sizzle this summer with Platter-Palooza, barbecue rib platters, coastal combos, lobster and prawns, big flavor all summer long. I wouldn't mind sharing a Platter-Palooza with you, Will. Maybe a post-show,
delicious.
either today or tomorrow. We can head out there. And
don't tease, man. Don't tease.
Put on a couple bibs. And
actually, today marks the day that I will allow myself to start drinking alcohol again.
Pardon me?
I've been off the sauce.
What did we learn on the show today?
I've been off the sauce since January. Exactly.
You might want to put one in for that.
Because so like when I do a weight cut,
dry spring.
When I try to lose weight, if I have alcohol, it screws up my metabolism. So I stay off of it for that reasons. But I kind of set this is when my summer officially begins. The summer of Will officially begins today.
I feel very privileged to be sharing this kickoff with you. We have a bottle of Sambuca over there. Do you want to just kind of go half?
When old Matty Wanek texted me, and I was kind of like, oh, Beer Fridays. Lines up perfectly. Well, we're
going to have one tomorrow.
We got a good one. We got a good one this week. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Who's coming in? Do we know?
I don't know, but they're always good.
Oh, man. Exactly. But they bring beer, so it's perfect. Yeah. I agree.
Annex Ale Project.
Oh, perfect.
You'll be joined, it says virtually here, by Andrew Bullied.
Okay. Bullied?
Yeah.
Like unless it's Bullied? Bullied?
Exactly. I've never heard of that. We are the Bullieds. This is the Bullied family. That's very. I wonder what
he sounds really successful for a last name like that.
Must be Dutch.
No, it's not. It's not Von Bullied.
It could have been. They could have dropped it when they came over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mr. Mike's Eat Locally, Enjoy Casually. Once again, Platter-Palooza on now. Who do we got here that wants to go to Platter-Palooza today?
This is Box Pounder.
Oh, good old Neil. Neil, how you doing, man?
Neil.
Hey, hi. How are you guys?
Oh, better now. Neil, right, you're a wily vet. You know how this game is played. We'll start the ticker after.
Try not to teeth it up.
What?
He's not going to try to.
I will try not to teeth it up.
I thought when Trev looked at me with those eyes and that wry smile that he did give me an Atif plant this morning. Thank God you didn't. More on that and 3 questions too many. But Box Pounder, you know how it goes. I assume you're going to do really well. So let's get going. Are you ready?
I am ready.
How many more games do the Oilers need to win the Stanley Cup?
3.
How many more games do the Panthers need to win the Stanley Cup?
2.
What town was Stuart Skinner raised in?
Edmonton.
What town was Brett Kulak raised in?
Oh boy. Pass.
What town was Leon Draisaitl raised in?
Cologne, Germany.
Do you want to take a shot at the Brett Kulak again?
Edmonton.
Well.
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are?
Stony Plain!
Get it right.
He's from Stony
You can't have a
Plain.
newcomer come in.
Put a little respect.
Steal the show.
That's a paddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Oh, you better believe that's a paddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from it.
That's a paddling.
The first year we took it to the limit.
a long line of Edmonton area NHL goaltenders.
No, not today. You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
We always have a saying on Kenny's trivia. We don't care how many. We just cares if you.
He got 4 out of 5, and the one he biffs
4.5.
The one he biffs on is Stony Plain.
Well, Barry the Cheater in the Nancy Chat says Spruce Grove.
No, it was not,
and that's even more offensive. That's right. If you're getting those,
exactly. Yeah. Might as well say he was from Calgary at that point.
Oh, town rivalries. Hey,
put a little respect.
Sure. Well. We hear it enough on the broadcasts. I mean, every game is Brett Kulak from Stony Plain.
From Stony Plain, Alberta.
You can't hear it enough. But we'll forgive Neil. He's off to Mr. Mike's. $50 to Mr. Mike's. Neil, enjoy your Platterpalooza. Time now for 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who went 5 for 5 on today's trivia. Go see him. He's a very smart man. Park Mazda, your dealer for life, or online at parkmazda.ca. Social media accounts. Will, where can people find you online?
You will not.
You haven't. It's funny because we haven't talked since the fall in this capacity. You haven't joined any other. You must be on like a LinkedIn, or a.
No. Do you know? My life is so wonderfully happy. Because I'm pretty oblivious to even relatives that I have that are in years long fights because of disagreements that they've had on social media with each other. Everyone still talks to me. Because I've not voiced an opinion. My old bad takes are not forever etched in stone.
They still are.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Let's retweet one here. If you want to find Will, his account still exists on the X at Wil with 1L Fraser 4 higher, and that's the number 4.
As soon as I lost you as my muse, I found no reason to ever tweet again.
Well, you were doing a thing where you went on there was an Airbnb thing that you were on where you were tweeting out but whatever. But you're quite right. You thought the cup was over before the show started. You don't know. You are so oblivious that you.
Yeah. I don't live in the world that everyone else does.
Like if I said Epstein Files, you'd just be like, "What? Yeah, what is that? Some sort of a computer program?" Or
listen, everyone likes to go on vacation from time to time. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Trev, where can people find you online?
It's a monumental day yesterday as I finally eclipsed
Instagram
1,000 followers on Twitter.
Hey.
For YTT. Let's go. Round of clicks. Thank you.
You were there before, and then they took all the bots away.
Yeah, so that kind of sucked.
We all had a big drop in our following count.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a purge on the site.
But we're back to 1,000. But yes, you can follow me on Twitter. YouTube _ Trev.
1,000 real people.
Yep, they're all real.
Yeah,
every one of them.
Carrying
You're on the
tiki
nose.
torches and everything.
Yeah, 1,000 on the dot. So actually, I don't even know if I want anyone. I like that 1,000. Don't follow me. Actually,
Yeah, shut it down.
there,
Don't.
Yeah.
That's your Georgia Guidestones or whatever. Hey, it's like
that's right.
Yeah. Keep it right on the thing.
There you go.
You're following 79 though. I'd like you to follow one more person. Get that as a good 81,000.
Oh, okay.
A good round.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I can do that
For aesthetic purposes.
I'll give someone a lucky follow there.
Who's
Yes.
gonna get the follow?
Or unfollow 29.
Oh, I could
Get it
do
down
that.
to 50.
That
mind that.
either or. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Sounds like you could probably prune some of the people that you do follow.
Oh,
Maybe.
we all could.
Yeah, we definitely could.
Yes.
Question number 1. Thoughts on the new Pope being a Sox fan in Chicago, Will? That comes in via text in the Paris Toulouse inbox today.
Yeah, well,
it's got to hurt you.
Well,
you're highly religious and you're a big baseball fan.
I'm not Catholic, so
okay. So
in a lot of ways, makes sense.
Yeah, well, you are a Glasgow Rangers supporter by
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
So this doesn't bother you at all, unless this actually gives you more fuel for your, your dislike and distaste.
All good Protestants are Cubs fans. Yeah.
Is that actually how it is in the city of Chicago?
I don't think so. No.
There's no religious divide.
No,
this isn't Glasgow.
It's more a South Side.
Geographical.
Everywhere else sort of thing. Yeah.
Are South Siders more
White Socky. Yeah.
More Catholic than Protestant?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. They might be. I don't know. So basically the city of Chicago is almost on the Indiana border.
Mm-hmm.
And Indiana, of course, that's where Notre Dame is, right? So maybe there is something to it.
Question number 2. This comes in from Atif. He sent it in 3 times.
Oh, good.
Because he thinks we He likes to kind of jump the queue.
That's an orthodox sort of tradition. They do everything in threes. So
keeping on the theme, I like it. Good morning, LTE, YTT, and Wil Fraser with a Z.
Go. Thank God.
I got a question for you, Will. I don't know if you've played hockey in the past. You might have. But if you are in that third period, we're going to Oilers uniform last game. Which player would you have wanted to take on and fight from the Florida Panthers? Atif.
Who would I want to fight?
I think so.
From the Florida Panthers.
I don't know. I read that word for word. So
who would I want to fight?
Who would you want to leg wrestle with?
I would take on the owner. Like
Zito.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oil him up.
Yeah,
hey?
exactly.
There's not a hair on that body.
Yeah.
You can just kind of
Yeah. That's basically the only. No, those are full grown men. I wouldn't want anything to do with them.
That's why I like you going to the management and or coaching staff. Maybe a Paul Maurice. Yeah. Is Sylvain Lefebvre? Is he not on that staff?
I would immediately turtle, cry for help, and when they turn their back in disgust, that's when I'd jump them.
Wheels in the Nasty Chat. YTT, I got over 1,000 followers on TikTok quicker than you got 1,000 followers on your online account. Whatever that means. I mean, they're both online.
You're famous, Wheels. You're famous. Yeah, that's huge. Huge props to you.
He's a big...
Go follow Wheels. Yeah, he's funny.
Big-time player at the Cracker Factory.
He's a funny guy. What can I say? Funny guy.
Chris Fuller says, I lived in Chicago for years and was a Cubs fan because the other choice was the Sox. It's like Edmonton fans rooting for the Flames.
Yep.
There's not even a smidge of like, oh, I feel sorry for them. They suck. Like you just hate them. Like there's a point in time where sometimes you're like, oh, my rival, they're so bad. I wish they were good so that we'd actually have a good rivalry.
Yeah. Last time I was in Chicago, I took my boys, my wife, actually the whole family. We went to Chicago, and the Cubs were actually playing the Sox in interleague play while we were there, and we got into an elevator, and probably one of the biggest men I've ever seen noticed that we were all wearing our Cubs hats, and he was like, "So, Cubs White Sox, how are we going to settle this?" He was clearly a White Sox fan, and that elevator became very small at that point. It was already small to begin with, but it got smaller, and my kids really didn't know what to do because they, once again, knew that dad's move was to turtle and cry and wait for the person to turn away in disgust.
And that's baseball, baby. American sports, they take it, just,
oh yeah.
You're not online, you don't see it, but there's lots of videos out there of people getting into.
Yeah. Well, pulling guns, basically. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. Rams fan says, what else does Will do for work?
Whatever I want, man.
You're not like for tax purposes.
Yeah.
You kind of.
Well, ever since they closed down the Pilots Lounge at the City Center Airport.
Runway 54. Man, I was there drinking one afternoon and was witness to a robbery.
Yeah, like ever since they closed that place down, my dancing career has taken a real hit.
Yes.
So I am
You
looking...
moved down the block to Chateau Louis.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I'm still looking for a Tuesday, Thursday gig if you know any place that's looking for a dancer of the exotic.
Yeah.
You just give them my name.
Reasonable rates. You bring your own costume.
I do.
Yeah. You prefer your own costume.
I have my own pasties. Yeah, that's right.
Upper Deck Drunk says, Rangers, Jesus, get him off the radio. I smell. I smell a Celtic fan here.
Celtic, yeah.
Celtic. Well, old Redbeard there from Sobeys, Scott Laurie. Big Rangers guy as well.
Yeah.
Up the Jers.
Yeah,
He loves
of course.
The Jers.
Yeah.
You guys always,
Yeah. What a league, by the way. What a league.
We don't. Boy, you talked too much soccer as it is, Will. Baggio says Epstein file. Will still thinks that is about Welcome Back Cotter.
That's true. Yeah. It's true.
It's a great pull there. That might be, you might be giving a text of the day run to Bramble Thistleforge's earlier entry. Norm to Dave, sun's getting low, big guy. Which was the Norm McIver to Dave Manson, hand on the shoulder to calm him down. I love that. I don't know why that hits with me, baby. 8:25. We got Bruce Boudreau coming up. Just want to go over a few things as well. Once again, this is the longest pregame show in the city, getting you set for Oilers and Panthers, 6 o'clock, all the way up to puck drop at 6. Of course, Tom Gazzola will be on with the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows at 5
This is
later
how
today.
old that reference is. Norm McIver, I believe, was selected by the Ottawa Senators in the expansion draft. That's how old that reference is.
I remember the hype when that franchise became a thing. Like that was
Bruce
cool days.
Firestone originally owned that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alexei Yashin, I don't think he wasn't of the original, was he? Like there was a year or two before him, but
because he didn't show up the year after he was
Then you
drafted.
had the Dag days and Alexander Daigle.
Yeah.
Hudson's Bourbon is where you can find Tommy Gazzola tonight. 5 o'clock, he hits the air. GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows. Also want to mention, before we forget, and on the kind of easy trivia theme, you use discount code SCUBA-STEVE today at Pro-Am Sports, either in-store or online. 30% sale on Blue Jays hats all day long. It's mean, but it ain't wrong to come after Scuba Steve. He does chime into the Paris Drewlers inbox actually today, and good to see him. How easy were those questions? Every question I got yesterday were gotcha questions. I'm appealing this with a teeth. If you're going to use a teeth as your legal counsel,
you get what you pay for.
I hope you're not paying much. Yeah. Martin says, invoke squatters' rights and rename the show the Lieutenant Eric Show featuring Fraser while Dusty is gone. We did have that in the fall when he was out for like the month. We had a new logo and everything.
That's right.
We wrapped it all up and it was, those were the days, baby. Bruce Boudreau will be coming up at just after 8:30 as well. This is the Nielsen Show, of course, presented by Southfort Chevrolet and EST, presented by our fine folks at Play Alberta. I'll direct your attention again to Dusty's Early Bird, which is up at playalberta.ca. You hit the sports tab on the left, EST specials. It is the Oilers on the money line, McDavid and Draisaitl 2+ points. That's plus 325 right now. Both McDavid and Draisaitl 2+ tonight. Are you thinking it's the big dogs? Dusty did have a tweet, and I think, Trev, you retweeted it there on your more successful Twitter account than a Chiefs TikTok account. But bottom 6 5-on-5s in the Cup final. This is goals. Marchand with 2, Arvidsson 1. And that's it. So is this a big dog feast tonight for the?
They're due.
Do they? Well, and they're not due because, as Reid said, McDavid's made some plays, drives. But in terms of where they,
I mean, analytically, they're due. Like just because of their shot totals. Like,
yes,
the math says that because they haven't scored but have continued to throw pucks on net, that the dam will burst at some point.
You said prior to the show today we should be using analytics more as a predictor,
not just
than a reactor,
not just as a I told you so. Yeah,
yeah. How about that? Hey, using information, real-time information to kind of say, yeah. If only the
that's how
Titanic
analytics were developed, right?
You tell that to Stockton Rush.
Yeah. No,
but that's a perfect example.
No, the analytics said that.
Well, the analytics said, and he didn't follow them.
Yeah, exactly.
He just went off things that he did, and then he's like, "Look at me, I survived 3,000 meters with all these pings." But hey, why would I listen to that?
Yeah, the math said, that's a ticking time bomb, and you're gonna die. Yeah.
Who the hell is this in the nasty chat all of a sudden?
Oh.
Well, we're gonna have to.
Somebody coming in hot.
Oh, yeah, got him. I've got ping. Timed out for 86,000 seconds. Is that the old 24-hour? Is that my rough math? Spinny the Welder says Leon didn't even have a shot attempt. Not sure what you were talking about.
Connor McDavid. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, the shots. Connor McDavid 5-on-5. The shots are almost 2-1 for the Oilers, but the score is 4-2 for the Panthers. So that's what you're saying there is if those shots. You continue to put up those numbers, that 2-1 ratio is 44 to 20 something. You would bet on McDavid breaking that, aside from the Panthers continuing to win that.
Yeah, like if you're going to put money on it, yes, that it's no guarantee, but that your odds get increasingly better the longer they stay down, right? Yeah. That at a certain point things return to what they call the mean, and so. Right now, the mean suggests they should be scoring more than they have.
Jasmine chiming in. It's hard. She will be on the Hangout later today, 9 to 11. Matthew Iwanek, Belzy, and is it Gazzola? I know it's a game day. He's a busy man these days, but you're hoping that he's in.
Just for his musk.
Let's get to a sports update here for Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day, and much like today, is game day at Sully's. YouTube Trev's got you there. Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen. Lieutenant Eric, we got Bruce Boudreau of Pro-Am Sports, courtesy Pro-Am Sports. He'll be on the way after this sports update here on the Nielsen Show.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers look to even up this series in Florida for Game 4. You can join Tom Gazzola live at Hudson's on Bourbon Street for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show starting at 5 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. On the hard court, the Indiana Pacers take Game 3 in the NBA Finals. 116-107 is the score. Canadian Benedict Mathurin led the way in Game 3 for the Pacers with a playoff career-high 27 points. Game 4 for this one goes Friday at 6:30. In the CFL, the Bombers get their season underway tonight when they host the 1-0 Lions with Dustin Nielsen on the call. And the Edmonton Elks are off for the week with a bye. In the majors, the Blue Jays remain red hot after beating the Cardinals 5-2 in yesterday's game, winning 12 of their last 14. The Jays will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Phillies. First pitch going at 4:45. Closer to home, the Edmonton Riverhawks lost last night in Kelowna to the Falcons. 3-2 is the score. That 3-game series comes to an end later tonight. First pitch at 6:35. And the Energy City Cactus Rats improved to 5-6 on the season after an 11-6 win over the Fort McMurray Giants. The Rats take the mound later today for a game against the Sylvan Lake Gulls. That one getting underway at 7:05. And round 1 of the U.S. Open is underway where J.J. Spawn is atop of the leaderboard. He is -4 through 11. And Canadian Taylor Pendrith is tied for 36. He is +2 through 11. As well. Oh, yeah, he's 2 over, as Wil Fraser says to me as he walks by. The Sports Update, presented by Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge. With wall-to-wall TVs, daily food, and drink specials, it's the place to be for every Oilers game. Every day is game day at Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge. I'm YouTube Trev. You're up to date.
I don't mind this, though, under Bruce Boudreau. That'd be a nice kind of get you in the vibe. But Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric here on the Nielsen Show. Final kind of segment here. We had to move Bruce. Well, Bruce requested a move, and we will oblige by him. Is he in the bullpen? Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful. We will, without any further ado, let's bring in Bruce Boudreau. He is our hockey analyst this morning, and it's for Pro-Am Sports. I want to mention again the 30% deal on Blue Jays hats today. Code word Scuba Steve, all one word, either online or in store at Pro-Am Sports, proamsports.ca. And Bruce, also brought to you by them. Playoff game days hit different. Get your car, office, or fan space ready for wherever you cheer with flags, decals, drinkware, and more by visiting Pro-Am today. Corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or as mentioned, online, proamsports.ca. Bruce, welcome back to the show, man. Great to have you, and thanks for making some time today. We did have somebody chime in with a wrestling question. Maybe we'll end it on that later. But given the fact that, you know, we speak once every 2 weeks, just your overall general view of this series thus far through 3 games. 2 tight ones in overtime here in Edmonton. The brouhaha down in Sunrise the other night. What have been your thoughts going into Game 4 tonight?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, the first 2 games were excellent. Both teams could be either 2-0 or 0-2 after the first 2 games. I mean, I think people make way too much out of the last game. I mean, to me, I'm waking up the next day and going, hey, the series is 2-1. If we win tomorrow, and then, I mean, we've got home ice advantage in a 2 out of 3 series for the Stanley Cup. So it's pretty good. And people keep forgetting that Florida lost 8-1 in Game 4 last year in Edmonton. So, I mean, individual games, the don't worry me like the way this series is going to go. I mean, I think people make bigger fuss out of the extracurricular activity that took place in Game 4, and I don't think either team has a worry about that either. So I mean, they're both big, tough teams, and boy, they wanted to take the frustrations up, but I don't think it affected anybody or intimidated anybody in either way. So tonight's going to be a whole new ball game. I think it's going to be a close game or an overtime game, and I wouldn't be shocked if Edmonton wins this one tonight.
What have you made of the coaching thus far? I know this is the realm which you have experience in. Chris Knoblock yesterday, I know media members, and we don't need your opinion, I guess, on the media. If you want to share it, you can, but getting thrown a bit of a curveball there with the on-ice availability and such. But how do you see the coaching matchup thus far through 3 games?
Well, I mean, I think, they're both really good coaches. I mean, I think Paul knows his team so well. I mean, he makes adjustments on the fly, maybe a little bit better than Chris does at this point, but Chris has his team well prepared. And I mean, until you're losing, and it's been really equal, unless your team gets behind 4-1 early in the second period, and then you have to make adjustments, because the bottom line is you're doing whatever you need to do to win that game. Like for say Chris, like I knew at the end of the second period, I said, if they score one more goal, he's pulling Skinner. I don't care if it's a 5-on-0 breakaway. It doesn't matter. 5-1's out. Let's get him out of the game. Yeah. Let's not risk injury. So, I mean, that happened. Like you could see the goalie, Picard, coming in right off the bat, that it wasn't a question of good goal, bad goal, 5 goals against, anything like that. It was just, let's get him out of the net. This game isn't going the way we want it, and we'll come back to the next game. But he's definitely, in my mind, playing tonight. I'd be shocked about that. I tell you one thing, though, to me, it's an active genius that he practiced the day after, and it's not a punishment practice. It's not anything. But listen, what people sometimes don't know, the hotel that they're staying at is 35 minutes away on a good day from the arena. And when you're in Florida for the Stanley Cup Finals, and you're right across the street from the beach, the last thing you want the players doing is going to the beach, running through the sand, doing anything silly. So it breaks up the day perfectly. And the other thing it does that's really good is that terrible mindset that they have after losing a game. I mean, it ends it. You get on the ice, you laugh with your buddies again, you get off the ice, the game is over. You don't have all day to stew about what happened 2 days ago. So, I mean, I thought that was a great move. And, hopefully they don't have to do it again. But I just thought that makes them more ready for today's game than it would have if they had sat at their hotel room and just practiced yesterday.
Yeah, people talk always rest versus rust debate, and I guess these 2-day breaks in between games, I know for the fans, they want to get back at it, and you're certainly giving our listeners and viewers a B12 shot this morning with how you kind of just want to get back in there, and that's probably, as you mentioned, getting them back on the ice. I mean, flush the turd, get back out there, don't stew on anything, don't kind of get your mind off stuff, and get back to the drawing board, so to speak.
Yeah, I know myself, as a coach, if I lost a bad game, the first thing I wanted to do was get back behind the bench the next day, because you just feel better about yourself about doing it. You don't want to sit and just go over how bad you played, how many dumb mistakes you made, how undisciplined you were. I mean, they've had meetings. The coaches have watched the video. I mean, you don't even have to watch the video to know what happened. I mean, we all saw it, and it's just delved in our mind that they took weight. They took 11 minors. I mean, a lot of them were when the game was out of reach. But when you say you got 6 minors, okay, that means Connor McDavid is killing penalties for 6 more minutes that he shouldn't be on the ice for, and to save time for him being an offensive juggernaut, which is what he is. So, I mean, I think they've learned by their mistakes. They will play within the whistles today. And, I know I'm talking a lot, but it gets me going here. That first game Edmonton played was fabulous. They were physical. They out-hit them. They showed they were bigger than them and stronger than them, but they didn't. They turned their cheek when it came to that silly stuff, because Florida knows how to play. If things aren't going well for them, they start getting in, trying to get under your skin and getting and doing the goalie thing and everything else. And Edmonton didn't do any of that stuff, but they got a little carried away in game 2, and they got really carried away in game 3. So they get back to game 1, they'll be fine.
Yeah, and you mentioned the penalty numbers, and if you just look at the stat sheet or score sheet afterwards, you see the 11 minors. As you correctly point out, though, that's a lot of garbage time stuff, but certainly in this game, and we saw it last game, Evander Kane, a guy that you don't need taking those penalties off the hop to kind of get behind that 8 ball early on, right?
Yeah, they took 4 minors in the first period, which gets them behind 2-0 to start, to start off with, and that's no good. And there's so many guys don't get any ice time when you're in the penalty box. I mean, because you use your same guys, so they get out of sorts and everything else. And Evander Kane in game 1, he had some bone jarring hits behind the net, behind the Florida bench or behind the Florida net in his forechecking and everything. That's what he's got to do. I mean, if you can do that and then just stay away from all the other little crap where he gets little penalties, like hitting the guy. He barely touched him with his stick in the face, but everybody has a heart attack over those stupid things. Like, I mean, back in the day, the guys would have taken that stick, chewed it, and spit it out. Like, I mean, there was they're so sensitive right now. But get back to that way of playing hard, disciplined hockey, and they will be fine.
The head coach has said probably one lineup change for tonight. We're all assuming it's probably going to be Stetcher in for Klingberg. Is that the right call?
Yeah, I mean, Klingberg has played good longer than he did the previous 3 years. So since he's been back, so it's time. I think he needed a little bit of a break because, I mean, his consistency has never been that good. And let's face it, Stetcher played really good when he was in, and Edmonton was winning an awful lot of games. I think he came in game 3 of the LA series and was fabulous until Ekholm got back, and then obviously somebody has to take a seat, and he was the guy. But I like a right-handed guy coming in for Klingberg at this moment, and he gives you a little more grit, I think, and he still can skate and make the offensive play.
He also seems to get the best out of Darnell Nurse. Did you ever have any experience with that in your coaching days of just, for whatever reason, one guy on a defensive pairing could get the other guy to focus on what makes him the best?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll go recently when I'd put Luke Shen with Quinn Hughes. That got the best out of Quinn Hughes because he knew, he was protected. So maybe Stetcher feels like I'm protected with Darnell, and he just, the comfortability of the styles, works well together. And then if you ever have success, you go, I can't wait to play with them again because we're going to have success again. So all of that takes place, but I mean, comfortability with line mates and defense partners is an important thing.
Bruce Boudreau joining us here for Pro-Am Sports, our every second Thursday hockey analyst, setting up Game 4 tonight, Oilers-Panthers. Bruce, with Connor McDavid on the ice, the series 5-on-5. The Oilers are out-shooting them by a ratio of 2-1. They're outscored, though, 4-2. Do you see the Panthers continuing that stat, or do you see tonight... I mean, we're not going to go must win, but it's a big game, obviously, to come back home tied, as you mentioned, up at 2. Is this a night screaming out for a guy like Connor McDavid to, I mean, he hasn't had a bad series by any stretch, but by his stature, do you see him kind of rising above and doing Connor McDavid things tonight?
Well, usually the superstars are the super duper stars, and Connor is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. They step up at moments like this, and the one thing I know is him and Draisaitl want to step up. I keep thinking back of the McKinnon saying, "I'm tired of losing," and he wins the cup the next year. I think McDavid's in the same boat right now, that he wants his legacy to have the Stanley Cup won. I don't know what's going to happen. Look at it. When you look at the stats that you just read to me, the goals that he's been on when he's being outscored 4-2, sometimes they've gone down and had a great chance, they've missed, and they've come back and scored. I'm not putting that on, they've been outplayed defensively, but the shots on goal tells me what zone they're playing in for the most part. And Connor's line is still doing what they do. They just didn't put the puck in the net. When you got a great goaltender in the other net, sometimes that happens. So, I'm looking for it to break at some point. Hopefully it breaks tonight and they get one early. And I was listening to the show, and to me, I'd put money on both him and Draisaitl getting 2 points tonight, because when they get shut out for a couple games in a row, they come back with a splash, and tonight seems to be the night that they're ready for it.
Yeah, and Dustin Nielsen, usual host, Wil Fraser filling in today, but he's in the Nasty chat. Oilers 4-2 empty netter. Dusty, have a great day, Nasty. So, yes, that is his Play Alberta early bird pick. McDavid and Draisaitl, both 2+ points. We discussed earlier as well, and Will, this was kind of your key this evening, is the net front presence. Would you kind of agree there as well in terms of, cracking Bobrovsky a little bit more than they have?
Absolutely. You go to the net, the refs are so, I don't know what you want to call them.
Go on, please.
No, they're looking at the net and going, if you come near the net and you touch somebody, all hell's going to break loose. But if I'm Edmonton, I'm going to the net with reckless abandon. Hyman was so good at it. And that's such a big, unfortunate loss with him not going over. But Cory Perry's really good at it. Sometimes he just doesn't get there fast enough to do it. But, I would go to the net, everything. You get inside the blue line, the puck's going to the net, I'm going to the net. I'm not worried about making a fancy play or a good play back to the middle or a drop pass or anything. I'm shooting the puck, so you better go to the net, because that's where the puck's going to end up.
Well, a lot of people, too, given the events ending last game, the one player that wasn't with a bullseye was Bobrovsky. And you would think that if it's getting a little mucky, if it's getting a little dirty, that's maybe where you should have went in terms of, garbage time antics.
Yeah, and you know what? The first thing I would do is go to the ref tonight and I'd say, listen, every time we go near Bobrovsky, he's doing a double backflip into the net, hitting and stuff. So, I get it, but, take it with a grain of salt some of these times. I've seen him fly into the net a couple times backwards right now as if a locomotive had hit him, and he's just being brushed by. So, all these gamemanship things you're playing, but to me, in the playoffs, scoring goals is all about the 5 feet in front of the blue paint, and you got to get there and own possession of that blue paint. And if you can do that, you're going to score goals.
Okay, one final one coming in. This comes in from Double A on the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Can we get Bruce's thoughts on who and when Seth Rollins cashes in the Money in the Bank on?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I think that's yet to come. They usually wait a good 6 months before that thing's, because they got to build it up. Yeah. And as soon as we get rid of Cena, maybe good things will happen again. For a bad guy, he looks like the smallest bad guy on the planet. So they may as well have midget wrestling out there when he's out there trying to fight some guys. He's 55 years old or something stupid. Get rid of him and let's get going. Let's get you know what wrestling needs is some more violence.
Yes.
It's becoming too much of a gymnastics show for me. You're getting me wound up. I got my family here. I can't be doing this. I'm all wound up today, and especially when it's wrestling. And quit painting your faces and putting masks on. Let's get back to good old-fashioned beating each other up.
Yeah. Bring back the ECW is what I always proclaim, Bruce. But
need a little hacksaw Jim Duggan in there.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you, Bruce. We love you. Thanks for taking the time today. Enjoy tonight. Appreciate it.
I will. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
There you go. Bruce Boudreau for Pro-Am Sports. That's a good... I'm glad, actually, we had to switch him around, and he's kind of our last segment of the show. We got the wrap coming up. But he's got you fired up, hey? I mean, that's a good, a strong assessment from a guy that's been there, done that, but a real honest type of, I think to sum it up, it's 2-1.
Yeah.
I know. I don't have to preach to you. I'm not.
You don't have to preach to me about hot takes. Yeah.
You were here in the fall when they weren't a playoff team. I know. We don't need to revisit all those takes, but boy, oh boy, yeah. These are the days, my friends, and it's a roller coaster ride. I get it, and sometimes when you hit a dip, but a dip leads to a big.
Well, Trev can tell you, like the entire early part of the season. Like, and you were feeling it, buddy.
Oh,
you were feeling the panic. And every time you and I talked, I was always like, every criticism they're making of this team is solved with a healthy Evander Kane. Like every complaint that everyone brings up is solved with Evander Kane. So just chill out until Evander Kane gets back.
I was optimistic though because of last year when they started off. What was it, 2-7? So I knew that they had.
You never lost the optimism. That flame was flickering.
I was more so frustrated and annoyed.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have to talk about this every single day, and people are like, "What's going on?"
And
I don't know.
And I kept telling you, like, this team doesn't care about the regular season, man.
Clearly, they don't.
Well, neither do the Panthers.
Right?
Really.
Exactly. Like they know what they need to do, and it's try to win a Stanley Cup. They don't care about regular season.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And they've done the personal metrics.
Right.
We've had the Leon 50. We've had all those seasons where they've done stuff or whatever.
They've set the world on fire with their ability. Everything is
yada
cured.
yada yada.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They've got one job.
Yeah, and they are more dialed in than ever. Bruce did though point out, man, though, if you mentioned a healthy Kane, it's now a non-healthy Hyman.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yeah, and that was the risk when he was hitting at the tempo that he was hitting at.
But even
in these playoffs, like
that drive-by on his, like that's how it's going to happen.
Once again, that's the power of math, right? Where you kind of just go at a certain point, the numbers add up, right? And so it might not be the biggest hit in the world, but consistently hitting at that level will lead to injury sooner or later. And we saw it with Hyman. Like that drive-by was the final one, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was a wrist that had already gotten a hairline fracture, and he just finished it off with that.
Every morning after we were coming in, you'd look at another 10 hits.
Yeah.
I mean, and he needed, what did he need? 19 or something like that. I mean,
his season total.
He was going to eclipse the record before.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have lots of room to play with to set his own mark. So the pace he was on was outstanding
and unsustainable.
Yes, and this is a guy that had the nose issue earlier on in this. I mean, he has been through the fire.
Yeah.
It's just, and I think people too, you're missing him on the ice. He's around the team, but not necessarily in the trench.
Yeah.
Right? Like on the bench, he's still there. They're playing for him, which I thought too. This is a good, tantalizing thing for the team to say, not that they need any more motivation, but to have a guy like him on the sidelines now and knowing, I mean, playing for a guy like, I don't know if there's any other guy aside from the big two that this team would want to play for more.
Right.
Maybe in terms of the heartbeat of a team.
Absolutely.
With him watching. So however you slice it, I mean, this is just the reality of the fact that he's not on the ice, and they're gonna deal with it, and they are dealing with it. They're as we said, they're a mature team that knows what it takes now. Stuart Skinner mentioned he doesn't have the googly eyes looking at the cup for game one. This is night and day to what we saw last year from this team. They've been here.
But tonight is kind of one of those litmus test moments.
It is. No,
right?
It is.
Game three wasn't. Game three was not like you would like to see them bounce back after a loss, but that's no one's looking at that game like this will tell you a lot about who they are.
I think it was the same as game two. We were going in. Game two was a Friday last week.
Mm-hmm.
They were 1-0 up. You're going in with just
you're playing with house money,
a childlike excitement.
Yeah.
And you're feeling good. And so yes, this is, and again, this opposition is a lot different than the Western opponents that they face. This is by far a different.
Well, this is the best team in the NHL. And has been the best team in the NHL for now 3 years running.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. They ran into a more veteran, more ready to pay the price team in Las Vegas.
The story at that time was favored in the Vegas. Yeah.
Well, Vegas just had a bigger willingness to do what it takes. Now, you may also say that there was maybe something else going on. That's up to those who noticed that they play in Las Vegas or not. And then last year they had learned all their lessons, and even then it still went to a Game 7. They still blew a 3-0 series lead.
Yes.
And now they are a team that took a regular season off, got as healthy as possible, and are back to exactly where they need to be. So the Oilers are not taking on a just happy to be here squad.
Always love a good sports cliche. The People's Eyebrow says it's not a must win, it's a can't lose and won't lose.
Okay. All right.
We'll leave it at that. Let's get another app for William Huff here. If you want your place to look as good as ours, WilliamHuff.com is where you want to go. In business since 1952. You know they are incredible at what they do. WilliamHuff.com. Go see Bruce Simpson and the team if you want something last second wrapped or any other business inquiries. I do have this text flying in. Somebody is taking great text today, by the way, in the Paris Ruler's inbox, taking a pounding, 780-218-9999. But only one will get to go to AEW today. Only
can walk
one.
away with the prize.
As Knoblock said, there will be only one change, and there will be only text of the day winner. But I want to get to this. Brando in Penhold, first ever text.
Okay.
Connor McDavid to reporters claiming they lost their composure. Have the balls to come up and say that to my face, you pep squeak wimp. And that goes off another Reid Wilkins chime in on a post-game show the other night. Reid's got great audio drops, but his first ever text, Brando follows it up with, haha, thanks. My wife will lose her mind if you read that out on the show. So there we are. Unfortunately, it's not going to be going to A&W. It's not going to get you there. You will podium, Brando and Penhold, and I like your style. I like your game.
Yeah.
You come back. I'm sure you'll find
if you
another.
Put a $5 down on to show.
Yeah.
You're walking away with some money.
In sports, sometimes timing.
Right.
He's the Panthers of 2 years ago. He was good.
That's right.
But just
it's good enough to be there, but not take it all away.
Today there was just somebody better. And I'm going to go with Bramble Thistleforge.
Wow.
Norm to Dave. Sun's getting low, big guy. When you told that story and painted the picture, that's the quote that that fits.
Yeah.
It fits.
Norm McIver talking to Dave Manson in front of their net against the Vancouver Canucks.
Any other hand, and he would have kept going.
Yeah.
Norm's hand.
That was a series with a young Pavel Bure, who was just the fastest player in the NHL, and he kept trying to go wide down Dave Manson's side, and Dave Manson would just throw a forearm shiver into him every time and wipe that poor kid out. It was a fantastic playoff.
And this comes off our McIver to Manson, but Stetcher to Nurse.
That's right.
Expecting that's going to be the change tonight. Not so much, and it's a two-prong approach. You're taking Klingberg away from the game, to which this isn't. He's been a great playoff warrior. You have a team that's deep, though, and you do have these options. But Stetcher coming in not only relieves Klingberg of his duties, but then provides
perhaps elevates Nurse's play.
Or what did we say? Brings it.
Yeah, or calms it down.
Yeah,
lets him play within himself,
which is a great thing to see too. Belsey's here, coffee's on, Gazzola, Jasmine, Benny's in the house. Place is packed. Iwanek's running around here too. It's going to be great. Hangout coming up next, 9 to 11. Keep it locked on here. I do see Box Pounder in the Nasty Chat. Damn fine show later, Nasties. Congratulations, Neil, as well on your big win. We do have some time, 1 minute for Sound of the Day, and I'm going to go with this one right here. It's the, Will, this is also Jameson's favorite song, but now yours as well, the Cory Perry song.
When you need a vet to be a threat, you can bet he'll fill the net. He's Cory Perry, he can score, he's scary. Cory Perry, he's a prick, but you know he does the trick. He's won the heart, he's won the cup, he just keeps going, won't give up. He'll knock you down, the fans will shout, you round, you will find out. It's Cory Perry, he can score, he's scary. Cory Perry, he's a prick, but you know he does the trick. When you need a vet to be a threat, you can bet he'll fill the nets. Is it Cory Perry? He can score, he's scary. Cory Perry, he's a prick, but
but you know he does the trick.
These AI songs, it's a hard
out.
No, yeah. Once again, Tommy Gazzola live for the GCL Diesel pregame show, 5 o'clock at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. Join him there tonight. Whatever you're planning to do tonight, have a great time. Be safe, but really let your head
hydrate.
down. I mean, why not? Hydrate. Yeah,
Try to hydrate.
And if you don't, there's always tomorrow.
Have a little
recovery day.
A little G2 waiting for you in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly. Or some warm chocolate milk on the ledge. For YouTube, Trev, there, bang up job on the sports updates today. Will, again, your time, I know it's a high commodity in your life. You don't have a lot of it, but thank you for
the
sharing
theme of the show
it.
was you get what you pay for.
And boy, did we ever. We're not paying you anything, right? For Wil Fraser, Lieutenant Eric Hangout coming up next. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Coming to you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio today. If you do want to get a little sustenance in your belly prior to tonight's game, they have that pickle value menu on right now. Everything except the brine at Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep it locked here on EST, presented by Play Alberta. Cash in on Dusty's early bird play of the day. I'm sure it'll hit tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.